Pratibha Agrawal, one of the conveners of this 3-day online workshop on doing qualitative research methods, meanings, and practices. As we gather on the third and final day of this workshop, I would like to sincerely thank all our chairpersons, conveners, co conveners, organizing committee members, resource persons, and participants for their support and active involvement in making this workshop a meaningful academic experience. Over the past 2 days, we have explored the foundations of qualitative research, including interpretive approaches, ethnography, interviews, observation, field engagement, and field note writing. These discussions have helped us better understand how qualitative research enables us to explore human experiences and social realities in meaningful ways. Today's session focuses on another important aspect of qualitative research: working with secondary and tertiary sources, interpreting text and media, and conducting narrative discourse and thematic analysis. I am confident that today's session will further enrich our understanding of qualitative research methods and practices. Now it is my privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed resource person, Mr. Animesh Kern. Mr. Kern is an assistant professor at the Amity School of Economics, Amity University, Jharkhand, with over 18 years of teaching experience. An alumnus of BHU, he specializes in mathematical economics, econometrics, quantitative techniques, and behavioral economics. He has authored several books on economics and has contributed significantly to research in education economics, public policy, environmental economics, and behavioral finance. He is also a strong advocate of technology enabled learning and promotes the use of open source tools such as R, Python, LaTeX in higher education. Known for his innovative teaching method and student centric approach, Mr. Kern is highly respected for his academic excellence and commitment to quality education. We are delighted to have him with us today and look forward to an insightful session. Mr. Kern, a very warm welcome to you. May I now request you to kindly take over the session? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a warm welcome. Um, okay, just let me share my screen with you first, then I'll start. Okay, before I start, a couple of things. I don't have a presentation over here, so I won't be sharing a PPT or slide deck for participants to see. Since this is supposed to be a workshop, and ideally this should have been an in-person workshop, I have a few people here with me, so I may be off camera if I need to help them for a brief moments of time. So having said that, the idea is that I should have been doing this on computers, and those in person should have been looking at the screen behind me and doing adjustments. But this is less an ideal situation anyway. So what I'm going to do is, if I need to emphasize on certain things, if I need to make a point, I'll type into Word document or any other document so that participants can see. And of course, I believe that this is being recorded, so and that will be saved, and you can always access the videos. All right, so let's set the agenda first. I'll do that. What are we supposed to do today? So I'll share. Okay, entire desktop. Yeah. Okay. So how do I hide this? Okay, I can hide this. I hope this is visible to you all. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to be co-host in order to present?
I think I have already made you the co-host. So.
No, I don't want to be a co-host because a lot of distraction comes.
Yes. Yes. You need to be a co-host so that you can share this.
Okay. All right. Never mind. All right. So, can you see this? I think you're not able to see this. Okay. Just give me a second. I hope that you can see this now. Okay. All right. So the theme of today's session, sessions I can say, is I'm going to write out here: textual analysis using R. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to focus on doing textual analysis using R. And upfront, I should be very clear that this is, to be very fair, to be precise, not, sorry, exactly what we say qualitative analysis. So what is this? This is actually what we call qualitative adjacent. All right. So this is a qualitative adjacent analysis. And why I'm saying this is qualitative adjacent analysis, because last session, if you attended the last session yesterday, um, uh, the resource person from Purnia College, I think he was from Purnia College, sir was presenting his research, and he showed that when you collect ethnographic data, for example, and you have got, let's say interview data of people in the ground. So what do you do? A researcher typically, what does he do? Is analyzes the transcript line by line, sentence by sentence, and then puts up a code. For example, there is a sentence that expresses that I don't like to go near the river streams during monsoon seasons. For example, that's just example. So that particular sentence is coded as expressing fear. So likewise, the transcript has to be gone through sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, and then you code those sentences according to the theme being, according to the central idea being discussed in that sentence or the emotion being expressed in that sentence. What happens next is you collect all those coded data which have the same codes together, and then try to extract a topic that is common topic between them, and then you do a second iteration where you have got all those similar topics, and then you try to extract theme out of this. This is largely what is done. So I repeat: number one, you read the transcripts one by one, sentence by sentence, and for every idea or emotion expressed in a transcript, you assign a code. Second step is that once all the transcript has been gone through, you have assigned codes to those sentences or paragraphs. Then you collect all those paragraphs or sentences which have got the same code together. Then you try to find out what is the topic being discussed in those paragraphs. And then you assign another code, that is the topic code. In third iteration, what happens? Then you select all the phrases, paragraphs, or chunks of data where similar topics have been discussed, and then you assign a theme to that section. So this is what exactly is done manually when we do this qualitative analysis. Of course, I'm not looking at the interpretation part. This is heavily researcher interpretation dependent. So what we are going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but we are going to do it through software. There will be no manual intervention except for the fact that we have collected the data. We'll have a statistical method of assigning probabilities or labels to those topics or sentences, and then trying to find out what were the themes that are being discussed. Of course, human intervention is needed at the end when you try to interpret this. So the entire sequence of dividing a corpus, we call it corpus or the transcript, into different segments, assigning emotions to them, assigning codes to them that represent a particular idea, and then extracting theme from that. This entire process will be done through software. This is what we intend to do. But there are three separate things that I intend to do today. Number one is, before we go into that, I read one of the comments made in past 2 days that there were people from Department of English or Literature and at others participants, and they thought that this was meant only for social sciences. So I want to show them before that this is also meant for people from humanities and arts. It's not just meant for social sciences. of course. So that's one part. Second part is that this is what we are going to do. Second part is I will use the software to extract information from that. What I will do is I'll begin with looking at one particular, let's say, a research article which you want to study you more closely. Why? Because one of the questions raised was that how do we know which theory to apply or which theory to base your report on? So that only comes from reading the primary text or the principal text of that field. So how do you identify principal text from a field, or if you have identified, how do you read those texts? I'll start from that, and then I'll show you that how to do a quick literature service. There are times when we have got abstracts, tons of abstracts, and you want to get a quick idea of what is going on in this field. So how do we automate that using software? That second part. Third part is we'll actually look into transcripts of survey data and then see how we can extract information from that. And the fourth part will be, I hope I can do it in session number 2. I have 2 sessions, man. Yeah, session number 2, but I'll come to that a little later. So that will be a fourth part is not explicitly known what exactly I'm going to do here. That should be a surprise. I hope so for the participants who are in-house at least. Okay. So what do we need in terms of software? We need software needed. We need, I think this information was shared to others, is R. R itself is sufficient. It's a free and open software. Those who know about it will know, but those who do not know about it will, I'll just give a brief introduction. When I started my career about 22 years back, the only statistical software which was used widely, at least in India, was SPSS. And even at that time, SPSS was reaching its maturity. So SPSS today is a dinosaur of our age. And the gold standard was, especially in American and Western European universities, was the software called Stata. Stata remains the gold standard, but Stata is a costly software. It's a very beautiful software, no doubt about that. It's very costly software. And R is the recent most in terms of life span of softwares are concerned. R is the recent most software, but R is very robust. And the beauty is that it is free and open source. You don't need to pay any money to anybody at all. You can download it, use it, and every single package that is used to analyze data can be audited independently and is audited independently. And with the advent of agentic AI, as we'll be discussing this also today, R has now become gold standard. Why? Because Stata is a closed-ended software. We do not know the code behind whatever packages Stata has. So R has become the gold standard. Agentic AI agents are very comfortable working with R. And R is a very, very, very versatile software. So we are going to make use of that, primarily because this is now the gold standard. Because there is a trend called reproducibility. Whenever you do a quantitative analysis, at least you have to give what you call a replication package to the reviewers, so that whatever analysis you have done can be replicated by reviewers also. Otherwise, it will be only your claim that I did it, I found that results. So R is very, very helpful in doing that replication thing. So we're going to do that. R can be accessed as it is, but we are going to access R through another piece of software called R Studio. Why? I'll come to this a little later, why I'm using R Studio. R can be used standalone itself, but R Studio is what we're going to make use of. These 2 pieces of software are needed for doing the textual analysis, as I have been talking about. All right. I think I have also mentioned using Python or downloading Python and a Python manager for that. But Python and Python manager, we're going to use it in session number 2. So we have time. So those who have downloaded R and R Studio, we can straight away begin with. Those who have not, please take some time to download it. It's not a big package. It can be downloaded within 2 minutes and you can do it. I'll just show, for those who have not done it, I'll just share my screen, show how to exactly go about it. And then we'll see what to do with this thing. Okay, how do I minimize this? Okay. Okay. Let me open my browser. Okay, and we have to go to this R thing. My screen is visible to you all? Okay. So go to this R. Okay, and you have lot of platforms in which R can be downloaded. So you pick a project, whatever it is, and then you have got this page. So you can use R on Linux, of course, different flavors of Linux, for Mac OS, for Windows as well. I am using Mac OS right now. For those, majority of you will be using Windows probably. So let me click on download R for Windows, just for show. Install R for the first time is the link that you click on, and then you download R for Windows here. Okay. Does it work? I don't know. Okay. All right. Do you need this? Okay. I don't know whether this is working. This is not working. This is not working. Okay. So then click on download R for Windows. It will download 88 MB file. It's a very small file. And then you can just simply double click it and install as you install any other software. So once you do this, once you installed R, then you go to this R Studio website. Okay. This is now done by a company which has renamed itself as Posit. They have got a different IDE also. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. They have got a different IDE also called Positron, but we don't have to do that. We have to look at R Studio. So download R Studio. This page will open up. Okay, and choose any version you have. This is Mac OS version. Since I'm on Mac, and you can look into different versions over here. So Windows version is there, exe file, Ubuntu, Debian, and a lot of other Linux versions are there. So once you download, double click it, install, and R Studio should open like this. Let me show you. Okay. This is my interface. I have, made a few changes to the interface. That's why it looks with the dark theme and all that. But this is basically what R Studio is. It has got 3 components that you can see. Don't be intimidated with that. We're not going to do many much thing with R Studio. We're going to use a simple interface. So the first thing that opens up is called a console that you can see where the blinker is there. And the right hand side is there are 2 boxes. The top one is where we have got environment variables. Whatever variables we create will be there. We don't have to worry about anything at all. And bottom part is where you can see the plots that have been generated or other files that you have in your system. This is only for pedagogical reason. I'm telling you, we are not going to use much of this interface at all. So once you have downloaded R, once you have installed R Studio, remember the sequence is you should download R and install it first, then download R Studio, install it first, because then R Studio will use the downloaded R version that you have installed. R Studio itself does not do any computation. The computation is done by R. R Studio is only an interface. All right. That's why you need to download R first, install it, then download R Studio. R Studio will automatically recognize which version of R you have installed with it. It also tells you the version that installed here is R version 4.6.0. That doesn't matter. All right. So the point is this: once you have downloaded and installed R, once you have downloaded and installed R Studio, click on R Studio, open it up, and then you go to the top where you have got different, menu bar. So from the menu bar, you select tools. I hope people can see it. And then click on install packages. I'm going to repeat this. From the menu bar, you click on tools and then you click on, install packages. So another dialog will open up and there you have to type in the name of the packages that you need to install. There are only 2 packages that we need to install and automatically it will download whether if there are any dependencies on that. So 2 softwares are, one is Bibliometrics. Somebody has raised his hand or her hand, ma'am. Can you see? The first package is called Bibliometrics. Please be very sure of the name. I'll just type it somewhere. Okay. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. The package that we need to install is called Bibliometrics. Okay. Be aware of the spelling. Bibliometrics is like this. Okay. And the second software that we need to install is called TOL. So we can simply put a comma and type in TOL. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, install packages, Bibliometrics, comma, TOL. This is what we are going to be very sure of the spelling of bibliometrics. It is TRIX at the end. Okay. So you can simply copy it and paste it over here. All right. So I've typed in bibliometrics, comma, tall, and there is a checkbox near in the bottom, install dependencies. Please keep it checked because that will automatically download any dependent packages and install. And then you have to simply click on install. Since I already have this installed, nevertheless, I'll click it. Let's see what happens. It will try to download things from internet. This is interrupted because the packages are already downloaded and installed for me. For you, it will take some time, a couple of minutes probably, to download the packages and install. Once it is done, you'll get back to this prompt as you can see over here. Okay, so this is where everything begins. This is the prompt where everything begins. And what we do now is we invoke what we called the packages that we have just installed. So we invoke one by one. The command that we have to type in, I'm typing it over here, is library and then open parentheses. The first one is we're talking about bibliometrics. Okay. So just copy this and paste it at the command prompt there. Library is, we are telling R to pick up this library, what we call initialize this library. It is downloaded, installed, but not initialized. So initialize this library. The library name is bibliometrics. Okay. So we simply copy and paste it over here. Library bibliometrics, and then you press enter. Okay, so once you press enter, certain things will be written. This is the basic information about the package that has been loaded. And then at the end of it, towards the end of it, you see there is something called biblioshiny and double quotation marks, parentheses. So you simply copy this and paste it over here. I'll also paste it over here so that you can see what I have done. So once this is loaded, once bibliometrics package is loaded, you go back to the prompt. Prompt will be there. Simply type in biblioshiny, parentheses open and closed, and then you press enter. Now what will happen is that your browser will open. I have Chrome installed. That was my suggestion. Either way, it works with any browser. So browser will open and you will get what we see, this interface. So this is the interface we are actually going to work with. Although biblioshiny package can be worked with within the RStudio interface also, or within the raw R interface also, but this is a no code interface. That means it is a point and click. You simply have to point and click. You don't have to write any codes. But remember, whatever we are doing over here is actually executing a code behind the scenes. We don't have to learn any code. We don't have to worry about executing any code. We are simply pointing and clicking on things. All right. Yes. What are the questions? Can you read this? Okay, I can read this. I can do this. All right. Okay. No issues. I'll stop it. And yeah, Chrome is closed. No, not meeting. Okay, I'll go back to what I was doing. Okay. All right. So what I was trying to say is very briefly, and then we'll come to the studio, the installation part, because that's where I think people may have lost me. What we're going to do is we are going to use R, the software, to do textual analysis. And what I had mentioned earlier is that textual analysis is not strictly speaking qualitative analysis, because in qualitative analysis, what you do is, suppose you're conducting a survey. So you interviewed 1,000 people, 500 people. You've got the transcripts with them. So you go through each and every sentence in that transcript. You assign a code to that particular sentence because that single word will represent what is being discussed in that sentence. And once you have gone through the entire transcript, all 500 of them, assigning each sentence's codes, then what you do, you manually then collect all those sentences which have the same code. So you collect them together and then read them again and then try to find out what is the topic being discussed in that in those sentences. So you assign a topic and then you go through this entire corpus again. Once you finish doing this, in third step, You collect all those paragraphs, sentences, or the chunks of data where you have got similar topics, go through them again, read them once again, and then try to find out the themes that are being discussed in that. So this is a three-step process which manually is done typically in any ethnographic studies where you collect survey data. All right. So we are going to automate this entire process using software. We are not going to manually read any of the sentences. We are not going to manually assign topics or extract themes from any of those things. We have transcripts of data with me. I'll show you how to do it, and we are going to do it using the software. So the primary thing is that we are going to understand which are the words which have been used mostly in that transcript, and how those words are connected to adjacent words, how are they used together, kind of phrases, and then we're going to see what topics are being discussed, what are the hot topics, what are topics which are peripheral to the discussion, and then we're trying to extract themes that are being discussed in that entire topic. So this entire thing will be done through using R. We are not going to do any manual intervention at all. Of course, once this analysis is done, the interpretation part is, of course, a human-driven part. The software will not interpret it for you. Interpretation has to be done by us. So the entire process of collecting huge amount of data, going through each of one of them, coding them, extracting things from them will be speeded up and done through software. And that is why we say quality adjacent analysis, because human intervention is ultimately needed. So this is what we are going to do today. Yeah, of course, interpretation is up to you, of course. All right. So the software that we are going to use two pieces of software right now. Python is also we are going to use, but not right now, little later. So we need R. This is the first piece of software, and then we need R Studio. So I'll show you once again how to do this. Installation will not take much of time. It takes hardly 2-3 minutes to download and install. I'll show you this, and then we'll begin the process. We have not yet started doing any analysis. All right. We have only gone through how to install R and how to install R Studio. All right. So you have to simply open up your browser, whichever browser you have. Okay. And type in simply R. Okay. Do a Google search for R. It will open up this website. This is R project website. Okay. So this is the R project website. If you look at the URL also, it's r-project.org. And there you simply click on download R. You will find a link over here, download R. This may look slightly different to those who are on Windows and slightly different to those who are on Mac. So once you click download R, it will come to a page. To me, it shows download from a particular repository, online repository. You simply choose the first one, OCloud. This is the parent mother repository. Simply click on this, and then this page will open. For those who are on Windows, this page will open directly. All right, then you have options to download for Linux, for Mac OS, for Windows, whichever version of OS that you are using it. Click on that. I'm showing it for Windows. Click on Windows, and then use install R for the first time. Simply click on install R for the first time. Okay, and then download R for Windows. Click on this. The file will download. Save it somewhere. Double click on that file, and it will start the installation. The installation is pretty straightforward. You simply click on yes, 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 agreed, and close, finish. Nothing special needs to be done. This is it. So once you have done this, remember this is the first piece of software that you need to install in this sequence only. Once you have done this, you can do now download what we call R Studio. So you can see if there are any other queries regarding this. Okay. So once you have downloaded R, installed it, you move on to downloading and installing what we call R Studio. The website is, you can simply do a Google search. The website is basically from Positron. The name of the company is Posit, and they have this product called R Studio. So scroll it. Okay, Positron is basically Positron. Download R Studio. You can see here on the top there is download R Studio. Click on that. Okay, the software is RStudio Desktop, of course, and you will have this install RStudio here. So your operating system will be automatically detected. It detects mine as Mac OS, and for you it will be Windows. If you are on Windows, you simply click on whichever default comes over here. If you scroll down, you'll find that there are different installers for different versions of operating software also listed. So if you're on Windows, click on this. It will download. It will download, double click on it and install as you install any other software. You don't have to worry anything about. Click next, 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 and finish. It will be done. I hope this too is clear to everyone. Sir, can you see the chat boxes? Okay, so I have Isha Chaudhary has her hands raised for quite a long time. Can you ask her? It's what does she want to know? Yeah, that's what I was saying. No, not unmute. She can type it into the chat box if she has something to ask.
Isha, if you have any question, please ask.
Just a second. Just. Okay, let me just see.
So we can go ahead.
Okay, all right. All right. So once we have downloaded R and installed it, then we have downloaded RStudio, installed it. Now we need to start this piece of software. Okay. So I have this RStudio installed over here.
So there is a comment by Isha, a query by Isha. For Mac OS, should I just go ahead with Apple Silicon?
If she has got Mac with M1 processor or any of the M series processor. If they are newer Macs, then they will be by default M series processors. So that will be Apple Silicon.
Okay.
If they are older versions called Intel processors, then she has to select a different one. Okay. All right, all right. This looks very dark. Just give me a second. Let me make it. It doesn't happen. Let it be. All right. So let me show you again. Once you have installed RStudio, click on RStudio or from your app repository, and it will open up. So RStudio opens up. This is the interface that you get with your RStudio. We do not have to worry or anything about this interface. We are not going to use this interface for any of our analysis. All right. So forget whatever I had said earlier. We should only be looking at this portion over here where you have got a cursor blinking. All right. So that's the only area where certain thing needs to be done, nothing else. So this is RStudio. Okay. I repeat, we can do all of this through R also. We can do all of this through RStudio also. The reason why I'm asking to do it through RStudio is that with RStudio, once you open up the software which we are actually going to use, you can save the images or the charts that it draws in a neat and clean way. With R, report is not generally created. There is a problem with R's interface. The textual data will be report will be created, but graphical report probably does not get created always. So why go into that bother? All right. So we need both, of course. We need textual report. We need graphs and charts also. That's why I'm asking you to use RStudio. This is better at handling dependencies. Okay. So R is the brain. RStudio is only the harness which makes use of R. All right. But we are going to use this harness. Okay. That's one reason. Second reason is that we are trying to minimize using codes. So if you use plain R, you'll have to type in codes, which I don't want you to do it. And if you're using RStudio, you don't have to type in any other codes. All right. So what happens is that once you install packages for doing specialist analysis, there are many what we call in software parlance dependencies. So one piece of software is dependent on another piece of software. So if you're using plain R, you need to know what are the other dependencies, and you have to download them manually one by one, install. So why go into that trouble? RStudio will automatically detect the dependencies, download it, and install. So you don't have to. That is the reason why we're using RStudio. Okay. So once you have fired up RStudio, you have to go into the top panel over here, and you have what we called tools. All right. So click on tools, and the first option there is install packages. You click on install packages. We are going to use two specialist packages for doing our analysis today. So I'm just trying the name of those packages over here. The name is this. You simply type in bibliometrics, comma, tol. Okay. Remember the spelling of bibliometrics is TRIX. Okay. So this is the name of the package. Bibliometrics is for primarily doing bibliometric analysis, but we're going to make use of this for doing something else today. This is bibliometrics, and TOL is textual analysis for all. So that's the acronym for TOL. So we are going to make use of these two packages. So we need to install these two packages first. So simply type in bibliometrics, comma, TOL here. The interface that now opens. I'll come to this again. So once you have filed in RStudio, go to the top panel. In the top panel, you'll find what we have called what we've got tools. Okay, tools. And then in tools, you have got the first menu, install packages. Once you click on that, this dialog will open up, where in the packages section, the cursor is already blinking. We simply have to type in bibliometrics, comma, tol. This is what we are going to do here. Okay, bibliometrics, comma, tol. And then there is a checkbox near install dependencies. Please keep it checked. It will automatically detect any dependencies, download it, install it, and then click install. Once you click install, lot of things will happen. Lot of things will scroll down on your screen, and it is actually downloading those dependencies and trying to install it. It doesn't show on my screen because I have already installed it. So you have to be patient. Just wait for, I think, 30 seconds, 1 minute tops. It will, depending on the internet speed that you are having, it will download all those things, install it, and once the installation is finished, you will come back to the thing you can see over here, the cursor blinking over here. You can see this will come back on the interface. Once this is done, we need to now load those packages and start our analysis. So can we check if everybody is here till now? Then only we can start.
I think Aditya Raj has a problem. Our tools is required to build our backend. It's not currently installed.
RStudio is?
So it's trying to help somebody.
Okay, shall I go ahead?
Veena is writing, she wrote installing it, sir.
She has not installed it.
It is being, so it is still installing.
Okay.
We can wait for 30 seconds.
Yeah, we can wait. For meanwhile, I'll show you something else then. I'll give some time for this to install. So what we are going to do is, to begin with, as I mentioned, I'm going to pick up one particular research article, and I'm trying to load that research article and do a textual analysis of that research article. The idea is that I'm trying to see how ideas have been incorporated or used in that research article, what citations have been used to support which ideas or which context, and how are those citations related to each other. That will help us identify the main themes. That will help us also identify the main authors. That will also help us identify which are the similar authors which contribute to towards a particular idea. That's the portion that we're going to do. At the same time, we'll also try to find out what kind of article is that, because if you have got an article which is introduction heavy, that means it's basically a review article, theory based article. If you've got an article which is methodology heavy, method section heavy, then it's an empirical article most likely. And how have the logic of themes started from introduction to conclusion? How has this flow been there? This is what we're going to do. And we're also going to make use of something called extraction. So if you have got a theory paper or if you got a paper in humanities, a paper in humanities typically do not have a method section, not necessarily have a method section. But if you still want to understand how this paper was constructed, the typical social science standard is you have got introduction, methods, results, analysis, and discussion. So you can extract the content from that article in this format for your easy reference also. This is what we are going to do. So I'm not going to show which particular article I'm going to analyze. I'll keep it as a in-house surprise. It will not be known to participants because this is one of the research articles by one of the core team members over here. Let's see that core team members is able to identify that research article or not. Anyway, so that's a little thing that we're going to do. So if you are ready, we can start with that. Sir?
Yes.
Okay.
So Apurva Raj is saying it is showing R tools is required to build R packages. And again, Veena K, but I think I am getting it like R tools is required to build R packages, but it is not currently installed. Please download and install the appropriate version of R tools before proceedings.
Yes, so we I think sent that message yesterday. RTools is also required to install because compilation requires RTools. For Mac, those who are on Mac, Xcode will be needs to be installed. I think it will be installed by default. For those who are on Windows, you have to download RTools. RTools is can be downloaded from the same place where you downloaded R. I'll just show you again. Okay. No, yours is working. You don't need to. So if you look at this page, you will see that you have got different things over here. You can find our tools. Sorry. This is slightly different for those on Windows, slightly different for those who on, yeah. So the place where you downloaded install R for the first time for Windows people, there itself you see there is something called R tools. You click on that and you download the latest one, R tools 4.5. Okay, so you download the latest version over here, RTools installer. You see over here, RTools installer. Okay. All right, you click on this, it will download. Of course, as it is downloaded, then double click, it will install as any other piece of software is installed. So this is also needed. That's why I think we shared this information yesterday only. Anyway, so this is slightly longer package, bigger package, this RTools. It may take a couple of minutes to download and install. All right, so anyway, we'll repeat this entire thing. For those who have not yet downloaded and installed RTools, please continue with that. Please focus on the screen first. Once you've done it, we'll redo it. We'll share a file with you also for you to do it on your own. So you don't have to worry about that. Of course, this is a workshop, so we're going to do it that way only. All right, so let's get back to RStudio. The latest one, 4.5. Always install latest version. Okay, so once you have fired in this RStudio, you simply type in library and open parentheses. Within parentheses, you type bibliometrics. This is what we are doing actually. You have to type in library, parentheses open, bibliometrics, parentheses closed, and this is what you do. Okay. All right. So before we do anything with this, I'll suggest that you pick one research article, a PDF, whichever you have. This is to all the participants who have been working with this, which you want to analyze. So pick one, keep it handy because we are going to upload it and then use it. All right. So you type in library, parentheses open, bibliometrics, parentheses closed, press enter on your keyboard. So once you do it, this library is particularly loaded, and you can see that at the end, towards the end, it says to start with the BiblioShiny app, please digit. Digit is basically typing something. This is in computer science world language. So simply copy this BiblioShiny, parentheses open and closed, and paste it over here. So what you have to do is simply type in this BiblioShiny, parentheses open and closed. Type in this, and once you have done this, press again enter. This will open up your default browser, whichever you have on your system installed. Mine is Chrome, so it opens up this app, BiblioShiny, the Shiny app for bibliometrics. Okay, this got switched off. No idea how this is. Okay, so this is the interface that we are going to make use of. All right. This is basically meant for doing bibliometrics analysis, which we are not going to do today. We are using this package, but we're not going to do bibliometric analysis. We are going to do something called content analysis, which is at the bottom. If you look at the left-hand side menu, see the last one is called content analysis. All right. So the one beginning with double quotation marks, you click on this content analysis. But before doing that, let me tell you something else before we start this. If you look at this, the home page that has opened, there's something called Biblio AI. So this is a new service which they have incorporated. I think it was started sometime last year only. So they have incorporated ways to make use of artificial intelligence models or apps. They can help you interpret the results that you generate. So this is completely optional. If you don't want to use Biblio AI, you can completely do away with it. It's completely optional. But my suggestion is for those who are just beginning to do this kind of analysis, it is always helpful to take a bit of a look at what Biblio AI can do. But this creates few more steps. If you want to use Biblio AI, then you need to do something else, which I am going to show you now. So I'm assuming that we are going to make use of Biblio AI. I recommend that you make use of Biblio AI. So for that, what you have to do is a couple of things. Number one, you have to get what we call an API. So if you look at the top of this panel, on the right hand side, there is a gear button. You click on that. That will open up settings. Okay, top here, there's a gear button. You click on that. That will open up settings. All right. And if you scroll that, there's a portion called Biblio AI Google Gemini integration. Okay. Okay, once more, you click on the gear button over here, right hand side. How will this come? This place. Do you want this interface? How did it come? We typed in library bibliometrics first. Okay. Okay, I'll check. Carrot. Okay. If everybody is here, then we can proceed or we can wait. No issues. Done. Just give it. Okay. Okay. Wait. This is okay. This is okay. And this is okay. This is okay. The package is installed correctly. No issues. That message has come. Shall I restart this?
No, sir, just wait for 2 minutes. They are doing the installation process.
Okay. No, I was just asking to restart this. I'll do this again. Okay. Let them finish. I'll just show this once again. Okay, so what we have done so far is this. Just give me a second. What we have done so far is that once we have started RStudio, we have typed in this command library parenthesis open bibliometrics parenthesis close, assuming that we have installed bibliometrics and toll. I think we have done it twice, so I'm assuming that you have already installed it. Once you have installed, simply copy this or type in this here in the interface in the console, and then press enter. This will load the package, and at the end there's a message here: to start with the BiblioShiny app, please digit BiblioShiny parenthesis open and close. So simply copy this BiblioShiny and paste this over here. So we have to now do this. Okay. And then press enter. This will open your browser. My mistake. This will open your browser. And this is the app we are going to make use of. So this is basically the graphical user interface of bibliometrics package that we have just asked RStudio to load and invoke. So that package has been invoked. We are now making use of it, but we are not doing it through codes. We are doing it through the graphical user interface. All right. So what I was saying is this, that if you want to make use of an AI, facility also, then you need to configure this Biblio AI thing. This software works without Biblio AI. This is completely optional. So I'm telling you this again, this is completely optional. It does not depend upon Biblio AI at all. None of the procedures, none of the analysis that we're going to run depends on Biblio AI. None of it. Biblio AI is only there to help you interpret. Since you're doing it for the first time, if at all, if you're just starting doing this kind of analysis, then Biblio AI will only help you interpret, basics of it. It is not going to run anything for you. Okay, so this is completely optional. But my suggestion is, please make use of Biblio AI. It's going to help you in the long run. So before you do that, you need to configure this interface, how to use this interface. So how do you do that? You go to the top hand side panel on the right hand side. You find there's a gear icon. The second last icon on the right hand side top. You click on that, and then you open this settings things. Okay. You scroll down. These are all defaults, which you don't have to worry about. You scroll down and you find this Biblio AI Google Gemini integration thing. And in there, you have to enter what we call an API key, application protocol interface key. You have to get this API key from Google. You can get it for free. I'll show you how to do it. Right? But for that, of course, you need to have a Google account. I believe everyone must have a Gmail account. That will do. That is enough. All right. So what you have to do is you have to go and open Google AI Studio. If you see, the link is already given. Enable advanced AI powered lectures by providing Google whatever features. And the link is here, AI Studio. You can click on this. It will open up another tab. I have already configured these keys. That is why it shows. But yours will be a blank. It will be a blank page if it opens at all. It will be a blank page. So on the top and right hand side, you can see there is a button called Create API Key. So if you click on this, create, I'll show you how did we come over here again. Just give me a second. Okay. So we have gone to settings, scroll down, and here in Biblio AI Google Gemini integration, the first line itself gives a link for AI Studio. You click on that link, and this will open up. Since I'm already signed into my Google account, I'm using Chrome. This page opens up directly. Otherwise, you'll have to sign it with your Google Gmail account. Doesn't matter. So once you open it, if you have never created an API key, this page will be blank for you. For me, I have created API key, so that's why it's not blank. But on the top right hand side, you can see there's something called Create API Key. You click on that. Okay, so create a new key opens up, and you simply name it whatever you want to give it a name. Let's say API for Biblio, whatever, anything that helps you remember why did you create this key. You can type in any name over here. You can rename also. You can name your key. That's what I'm saying. You can rename it, type it, erase it, rename it. Okay. So the point is that once you start using this feature, you will be using it in a lot of these features in future. So for every single application, we have a different API key. So idea is to rename it so that you know what kind of key I'm using here. So I've just named it API key for Biblio, and the imported project, you ignore that, doesn't matter. Gemini API. Simply click on generate key. Create a project, name it, doesn't matter. Okay. API name, project number. So there will be an option to copy that API key. So once the API key is generated, let's look something like this. All right. And right there at the API key, right hand side, you have got this copy icon. Click on this, it will copy your key. It is on the clipboard. Okay. Once you have done this, you go back to this biblioshai thing, and here in the API key box, you simply paste it. Once you paste it, then you click on set API key. I'll not do it because mine is already done. You simply paste that whatever you have copied, and then click on set API key. It will be done. It will become a green checked icon like here. So that means your API key is not set. It may take some time. It may take some time because it contacts Google's servers to verify whether the key is correct or not. So be patient. Once it is done, you will have a green check box like here. Your API key is set. Set for everyone, Akansha?
So yes, now it's green now.
Green now? So once it is green, that means your API key is now set. And then right hand side, you have got different models of this AI that you can select. Yeah, model selection. You use the latest one, but Gemini 3.0 Flash. This is what you get for free. Right now, Gemini Flash is 3.5 version. You don't get it for free. So for free, you have to settle with 3.0. This is good enough for our purpose. Don't have to worry about that. Any case, we'll be coming back to agentic AI models in session number 2. Anyway, all right. And the output size, please keep it to medium because that is usage dependent. So what you see here, there is a word written tokens. We are going to this tokens. Tokens is basically words. So it can take in 16,384 words at a time. This is because that will you are using a free tier. It will exhaust your daily quota very easy. We don't need that large one. This would do.
Okay. Sir, can you please repeat the API key settings?
All right. So have you got the API key?
Yes, I think they have got it.
If they have got the API key, then you can simply copy it here. This will be the interface where they get their API key. You simply have to check on this box right side, this copy. Once they have copied it, go back to this biblioshiny thing and paste it in this API key box. Simply Control V.
Sir, actually, Aditya has not got the API key.
Okay, API key is completely optional. If it is taking your time to make use of getting an API key, then you can skip it. But how do you get an API key? I'll show it again. Just give me a second. So once you get in the settings page of this Biblio Shiny, scroll down, and then you have got Biblio AI Google Gemini integration box here that you can see on the screen. And right below it, you have got a link to get an API key. See this at the end of this sentence, you have got a link here, AI Studio. You click on that link. This is the link here, AI Studio. You click on that link and it will open up a Google page. You may need to sign in if you have not signed into a Google account with your Gmail credentials. That is okay. Mine is already signed in, so it simply opens up with this particular page. So for somebody who is doing it for the first time, this page will be blank. There will be no API keys. For me, I have a host of API keys. Don't worry. At the top right hand side of this page, you can see you have got a button here called Create API Key. You click on that, and then this dialog box will open, where you have to create a new API key, name your key. You can, the default name is there, Gemini API key. You can change that name, click on it, and you can change that name. Okay, I am doing it demo API key. And then you have to choose an imported project. So you can create a project over here. There's an option. You can create a project, you can name it. That's basically a folder. Creating a project basically means simply creating a folder where your key will be stored. So you don't have to worry about that. Let me do that. Let me name it as demo API. Then create a project. Just a second. Yes. So once you do this, simply click on create key and a key will be created. This is the key that has been created, and on the top where the key is written, this is the key that has been created. You simply go at the last here. You have got an icon here. Click on this icon. This will copy this key to your keyboard. To your board. What do you call it? To your clipboard. Sorry. Once it is copied, you simply go back to the tab where you have in the settings, and in this API key dialog box or the box that's open, simply paste it. Control V and you will paste it. Once this is done, click on set API key. It will take some time to verify the key, and then you will get a green checkbox over here. Once you get a green checkbox over here, that means your key has been set. Okay, once you do this, then you move on to the right hand side section, model selection. Over here, you can check in the model. By default, it is 2.5. You can check in and you can use Gemini 3.0 Flash. Gemma is a model by Meta, the Facebook company, and you can also have paid versions. So Gemini 3.1 Pro and Pro latest, these are paid versions. The key we are using is right now free key. You don't have to pay anything for it. If you want to use the latest version, of course, you'll have to pay money for that. But we are only using the freely available version. So free tier, Gemini 3.0 Flash is the best that you can get. Output size, keep it to medium. Don't change it because that will consume your daily quota of inquiries very quickly. So once this is done, this is done. Okay. We can skip it. This is completely optional. You can do it later. No issues. I repeat that none of the analysis that we are going to run depends on this Biblio AI. This Gemini key, none of the answers depends on that. This is simply a new feature which we should make use of. If you are getting delays in generating API key, this happens due to server problems. So we don't have to wait for that. You can do it sometime later. Of course, we'll have the access to video. If you find it difficult, you can go through the video, generate that API key. So once, for those who have done it, let's go back to content analysis. Simply click on this content analysis, and this will open up a interface. All right. So right now, it takes only two kinds of files. Either you have a plain text file with the extension .txt, or you can have a PDF. So what will it do? If you import a PDF, it will extract text from it and then analyze that. So once you come to this page, Right hand side, you have got choose import method. So click on import PDF file and then scroll down and actually browse to import the file or the article or the research paper that you want to. ये पूरा नहीं दिख रहा है सर, पता नहीं क्यों. That you want to analyze. I don't know why it is not showing. Okay, so you click on browse. By default, import PDF. We have clicked on content analysis. So this opens. Import PDF. Scroll down. Browse. And pick. So I'll pick this. You can pick whatever PDF file you want to. I've picked one. I've stored one. And I've picked it. Simply click open. And then it will say upload completed. Okay, upload completed. Everyone has chosen a PDF. Right? Okay. Couple of things. It asks you number of columns in PDF, or unless until you are going into writing into Frontiers or some other specialist journals, it is mostly one column PDF. So if it has got two columns, it will help this parse. So right, otherwise leave it blank. And citation format for most of social sciences and in humanities also, the format is author year. So click on this author year, citation format. And for those who have actually got this API key, you can check on this box also. It will then use the Gemini API to help extract the content from that from the file that you have uploaded. But again, this is optional. Even if you do not check on it, it will still extract the content. All right. So once you have done it, go to extract text. Click on this blue button over here. Extract text from PDF. Click on this. It will take some time depending on how large, how complicated the article that you have chosen. Mine is a pretty simple article. In a sense, the number of pages is less. Number of graphs is very less. Okay, so we have to simply wait. Once it extracts, what it does is it is running Python script in the background. It is extracting text and then writing it into a TXT file for its own reference. Okay, so it will take some time. The only demerit with this is you can analyze one text only at a time. You cannot analyze multiple texts at a time. So you can only analyze one text at a time, but that is okay, fair enough. I'll close this. It is no longer needed. Okay, so PDF uploaded successfully. Extract text, extracting is still going on. Once it is done, it will show you that extraction has been done, and then we can start the analysis. We have to wait. Finished? Anyone? Okay. Okay. Mine is still also extracting. This is a very small PDF file, 0.7 MB, but still it's taking a bit of a time, depends upon, network condition also. Yeah, good, fair enough. Okay, meanwhile, while it is extracting, I'll show you something else. If you scroll up above, you find that there is it is done. It is extracted now. Okay, anyway, I'll show you what we are doing. So there's something called info and references. If you click on that, it gives you the complete description of what you can do with this piece of software. So this is practically, a manual for using this particular sheet. Wait. Next is to scroll up and see here, info and references. Okay, click on that. Yeah, so this is basically a manual of what exactly this piece of software does. So if you ever find confused what exactly I was trying to do, you can read this. So it gives you every piece of information, whatever we're going to extract, how we are going to extract, how to interpret that. This is the entire manual, basically. So that is already there. Anyway, let's get back to import and analyze. I think you have done. Mine says DOI not found, doesn't matter, title not available, and it is anonymous, journal not available. It was not able to extract this information, does not matter. It has done a pretty good job because I've already done it. All right, so once it is done, scroll down and go to analysis parameters. You can click on this and then understand a couple of things. These two needs to be understood. Okay. Context window size, 20 words. What does this extraction actually do? It tries to find out in-text citations and then tries to find out words before that citation and after that citation. That means it tries to find the context in which this was cited. So this is the length of the words that it needs to extract before a particular citation is made. So if I have written a paper, let's say current 2026, then whenever it finds current 2026, it searches 20 words before that, 20 words after that, becomes the context. So I have cited this paper in context of that. So it gets an idea what is being discussed in that. So you can set this length. 20 is a medium size, that is okay. So that gives you an idea that what is locally being discussed. If you increase the length, that becomes paragraph length, probably what is discussed in that particular paragraph. So there is a trade-off between that. And then you have got max distance, the second one, for networks. What it does, it tries to find out which is the next citation. So my citation is current 2026, one citation done, and then it finds what is the next citation. How far is the next citation? How far should you go? Idea is this: if there is a paragraph, let's say this bigger paragraph, and you have got 3 or 4 citations in that paragraph, that means all of these citations constitute one single concept, because the paragraph by definition discusses one single idea. So, and then it may happen that there are multiple paragraphs in a section. So section will have a theme. So this tries to find out how many citations shall I include to extract a theme. So that would practically mean taking 3 or 4 paragraphs together and extracting a theme. So that length, this is the number of characters that you can exceed. So this is basically 2 paragraphs length. That is okay, fair enough. All right. So you can change as you go on doing this. You can experiment with the length and you can find out how exactly you can do. Advanced options. Please check if it is not unchecked. Parse complex multiple citation. What happens? You have multiple citations in one go. 2026, comma somebody else, comma somebody else. Multiple. It will try to break down and then extract individual citations from that. And the final thing is there, and which is absolutely important. Remove stop words from analysis. This is something which we are going to discuss again today. What are stop words? Stop words are all punctuations. These are stop words. Stop words are also conjunctions and or they carry no meaning. All right, for analysis. They are also prepositions, articles, the, a, and which carry no meanings. So you remove all of that from the extracted data and then analyze, because writing the makes no sense. All right. Then you click on start. The last button is simply click on start. Yeah, start, and it is done now. Okay. So there are certain descriptions. Mine is truncated because the screen is smaller. I can read it from here. So there are certain readability. It tells you how many words are there in the document, how many citations are there in the document, and how a narrative citations, that means author, not in parentheses, author, and then here in parentheses. And their citation density is number of citations per 1,000 words. So that gives you the kind of paper you're reading. Readability score is 35.4. A higher score means more difficult to read. This is advanced text, and these things you can also find it down here. So readability indices are basically difficulty in how difficult it is to read that text. All right. So there are different measures. So it shows grade 12. This is, by the way, US grade 12, not India grade 12. There's a difference between the education standard in US and India. So somebody who is in grade 12 will be able to read and understand the text. That's the idea behind it. Okay. All right. So These are basic differences. Come to downwards. What it has done is, it has extracted keywords. So we have got unigrams, that is single words. We have got bigrams, that is 2 words. And then we have got trigrams, that is basically 3 words. So 3 words combined together basically express a phrase. So what is they have done? So unigrams are chatti, mai, culture, goddess, narratives, and other words. Bigrams, combination chatti mai, chatti puja, 6 days, sun god, birth traditions. These are basically the keywords which are discussed in this article. So that way you can extract it. So you can of course increase the number of grams, n-grams. These are bigrams. All right. And look at the summary over here. You have got 44 citations probably, yeah. And how those citations are there. So their section-wise introduction has got 5 citations, and other sections have got different number of citations. That is citation summary that you can find it over here. All right, let's go up. Look at the column over here, tab called word trends. Click on that. Okay, and then you can find out a particular concept that has been used. If you want to see how that concept has been used throughout the text, you can find out. So by default, it has got the tree that we had already started, n-grams, b-grams, and t-grams. Let me just scroll it down. I'm interested in looking at elements of local folklore. So I click on that. You can take multiple ones, okay? And word trends, and then look at mythological elements local. Let's see. It completely depends on what you want to do. I'm interested in looking to this, so I'm doing this, and then click on update visualization. Okay, yeah, you can select multiple at a time. So this visualization has not got anything. That means they are not discussed in the text together. Okay, let me do just one. Okay, let me just check with Chatti Maiya. All right. See, this concept of Chatti has been discussed like this over the, these are the different sections of the text that you can see at the bottom. And this shows that how many times had this particular concept, been used in those particular sections of the text. Okay, the frequency is given down there also. So you can use multiple characters over here to search how they have been used together and search over the text. All right, let's move further. We go into in context citations. So citations and then the words preceding and succeeding it. So if somebody is citing, let's say Pandey et al. 2019, in what context was Pandey et al. 2019 cited? So you've got words preceding this and words succeeding. So you get the idea why was this particular work being cited. So this is an easy way of extracting which work to actually read if I want to understand about a particular concept. All right. So this is these are color coded. Red is from introduction portion and likewise. So these are all color coded for different sections of the of the paper. Okay. So Singh et al. 2016, they discuss about nurturing mother and traditional festivals. They play a role in that. So this is how you can understand why a particular citation was used in what context. This will help you identify the primary text that you should consult if you want to understand a particular concept. Okay. So this is your you can obviously type a different context and it will just filter it according to that context. We're not going to do that. Get into network analysis. And based on that, it will show you the groupings of the citations that it is contained over there. So this is one group of citations. Bhattacharya 1995 have been, it can extract. It can extract name of the author, journal name, DOI, everything. For this particular article, it was not able to extract DOI. Okay. So this is you get this network where you see this group where different papers have been cited in together. So you can zoom it. Okay. So they have been cited together. So that gives you a group idea of which citations form a group. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. Okay. So these group is cited in a particular context. You can see this download also here. So which two sets have the stronger connection? In this case, Democ 1962 has a stronger connection with Wilkins 1990. So probably they discuss the same sort of an idea. So you can identify the pair of articles you need to read in order to get to that, ideas. Then you have got citation clusters. As I said, these are color coded. So these are all different ideas that have been discussed in the text. Top ideas that have been discussed in the text. So introduction talks about puja and Chhat Puja primarily. The second section is worship, and this talks about sacred days and festivals. The third section is narratives. It talks about Devi and cults. The fourth one is Chhati Mai. It talks about the geography of the puja, especially about the Bhojpur region. The fourth one is talking about connection with Mother Nature. So it talks about Bengali rituals and folk religion and daughters, and likewise. So these are top concepts discussed in different sections of that article. Okay. Okay, I'll come back. Let me see. Okay. So these are references per section. So these already decided upon. Which sections use which references for dealing with what kind of ideas you have. Okay, so this is the list of references that you get if you want it. And the last one is got, if you want to have a summary of the entire article, you can do it here. So typically an article will have an abstract, so there's no need for that. What you can do is, you can click on this and you can have a narrative abstract that is a longer, lengthier abstract of that paper, or you can have an IMRAD structure that is introduction, methods, results, and discussion. Just a second. Summary, or you can have a thematic bibliography. Click on this and click on generate. Of course, it is using your Biblio AI that you just configured, so it will take some time. Somebody has raised a hand. Can someone check? Okay. So what it does is it gives you the different themes that have been discussed in this article along with the citations for those themes. So the first theme is Chhat Puja and sun worship traditions and the citations. Second is goddess mythology, iconography, and Shashti Devi. Citations for that, a description and citation. Another is folk religion, women's rituals, and social identity. A description of that and a list of citations. And then eco spirituality and environmental conservation. This is also discussed. Description of that and a list of citations. And regional history and cross-cultural religious context. Description of that and a list of citations. So it has extracted around 5 themes that has been discussed in this particular article along with the relevant citation. So if you are interested in links, say for example, in knowing regional history and cross-cultural religious context, then you know which particular works to further study. All right. So this is what we can do with one single article. Of course, you can save it, export the summary. It will save it into your working directory wherever you want to save this. Okay, so this is what you can do with deep analyzing one particular research article. All right, I think we should take a break here, 15 minutes break. and then we'll move on to the next section. Okay. So once you have done it, you can simply click on export summary and it will export to whichever place you want to save this export summary at. Yeah. References, the report can be downloaded, not the reference, no. Reference can be. They're not given DOI. In certain, when they have their DOI is there, you can see the abstract also. Okay. So you have the option to export all results here, export all images over here, or simply to export the summary that you have just created over here. So it can be exported. Let's export all results. It will then ask you where to save it. So wherever you want to save it, you can save it. So this entire thing would be saved at one place.
Sir, there is a query in
Yes,
chat box. Anjali is asking, even in cluster and network, nothing is showing. Kindly help. Other word trends and everything is working, but the cluster and network, nothing is showing.
Okay. Okay. So can she just check to the references section? Are the references being generated properly?
Anjali, please check the references.
If the references are generated properly, then network and citation clusters should appear. If not, then you have to upload and redo it again. It happens at times because this is all based on this network analysis is based on the extracted test. So you can inspect the text that was extracted, whether the extraction has been done properly or not. For complex articles, especially just a reminder, text extraction is only possible if you have got what we call readable PDF. If your PDF is basically a scanned image PDF, no extraction is possible. So you should be clear about that.
Yes, sir, references are done.
Okay. You can just simply check the extracted test, or she can send me the extracted test. We'll have an analysis of that, what exactly happened. It doesn't happen generally. Okay. Any other query, or should take a 15 minutes break? At least I need a break. I've been speaking for last so many.
Yeah, I think
minutes.
we can have a short break.
Okay.
10 to 15 minutes break. You all can try your thing once, and maybe when sir comes back, we all can connect together. So we are not ending the session. Just a small break.
And if you have any kind of query and problem, please write in the chat box. E. So everyone, please. B. We are restarting the session. T.
We can start now.
Has everyone joined?
Just give me a second, I'll make you the co-host. We can start now.
So can we just wait for 2 minutes? Let all the participants come. Okay, So we can restart the session. So you are on mute. So there was a query how to configure API, and Josna has written, I am getting a repeated error in the Biblio AI section. It says API key is not valid, and she has tried for 5 times. So is there any solution for the same?
Okay, we will be configuring API. I'll show that again because the next piece of software that we are going to use also makes use of an API key. So I'll show that again. No issues. So you can do that. Try that again. Anything else, or shall we start?
Aditya has a question. How we will land up later to bibliometrics page through RStudio or independently?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
How we will land up later to bibliometrics page through RStudio or independently?
No, you can do it through R or through RStudio. You cannot do it independently. That BiblioShiny or is a package of R. So R needs to be running. Then only you can invoke that package. Shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Pratibha ma'am?
Yes, sir. Please start.
Okay. All right. So it's almost noon. So, all right. So we are going to do the second part. So far, what we have done in the first part of the session, we have taken up one particular research article and tried to analyze it, try to extract what are the citations that have been used in what context. That was not citation extraction, that was basically contextual extraction of citations. What were the themes that were discussed in that particular research article? And if you have got papers in humanities and arts, then you can still generate what we call, IMRAD format, an abstract of that particular paper. So that helps you parse the content of the paper. That also helps you identify the key papers that needs to be understood and cited in the research. That also helps you identify the key authors that are, seminal authors, seminal works in that particular field. What we are going to do now is to move into the core of what we are trying to do here. So I'll show you a couple of things. I'll run only one analysis because running analysis on huge data sets takes time, and time is something that we do not have. And so I'll show you an example with one smaller bit of a data set. But before I begin, I'll tell you what are the applications. Suppose you have conducted, as I mentioned earlier, suppose you have conducted a survey of, let's say, 1,000 people or 100 or 500 people, and you have got a survey report, not survey report, interview transcripts that runs into thousands of pages. So manually inspecting them, coding them, and then trying to extract themes and topics discussed in them takes a lot of time and lots of expertise. So we are going to automate that process using this R. So R is the one that is going to look into these sentences and assign codes to them, extract themes from that. That is the code that we want to do. So we are going to do this with a large interview data set, ideally, but the same thing can be done to do quick analysis of other things also. For example, in one of the papers that I have co-written, what we did is we collected Google reviews of all private and public hospitals in Ranchi, the place where we are situated. The idea was this was a follow-up paper from an earlier paper that we had published that wanted to, analyze whether one of the reasons for, privatization of hospital healthcare services in India has been that private hospitals or private entities are much better managed than public entities. This is one of the arguments that has been, forwarded for justifying privatization of healthcare. So we analyzed based on patient outcomes and different parameters whether private hospitals are better than public hospitals in Ranchi, and we found that there is actually no difference between the quality of healthcare being provided to the patients. No statistical difference. That means individual cases, of course, will see huge differences, but overall, for society as a whole, there is not much of a difference between public and private hospitals. And this was a continuation. This was based on patient data. Then we wanted to do this based on patient perception. How do people perceive whether public hospitals and private hospitals are, different from each other or not? So for that, what we did was we collected Google reviews of major hospitals from, of course, Google Maps and other sites. For this entire district of Ranchi, and we analyzed that, trying to extract themes. So, what are big things being discussed? What are things which are pointed out differently for public hospitals and private hospitals? And what are the issues where people express their anxiety, that is emotions, or they feel joyful about, and all that. So, these kind of analysis where you have got review data from websites, scraped from websites. These can also be analyzed using the methods that we are going to see. But I'm going to begin with analyzing something else. What happens is when we are starting about a new project or a new paper, or you've got an idea about a new paper. So one of the things to really ascertain whether this is a viable paper in the sense that somebody else may not have done it earlier, or what are the main things that we need to concentrate on, or to identify, research gaps. What we do is we conduct a quick, survey of papers in that particular area before we actually dive down or commit ourselves to that project. So one of the quickest way of doing that is to, download download the abstracts of major papers in that particular area of interest, and then go through those abstracts to get an idea, broad idea of what has been done in this paper so far, what in this area so far, and whether we can find a new and emerging topics in that. So how do we proceed with this? what I'm going to do is I'm going to log on to Scopus website and type in a few keywords to download the abstracts of relevant papers that it shortlists, sorts, and then we are going to organize that abstract into a format which R can read, and then try to find out what are the ideas discussed in those papers and try to find out what are the major themes that can be extracted, which has been done in that particular field. Why I'm doing this? Because this will be a smaller data set and the analysis will be run rather quickly. So you'll get to see what are the different features of the software that you can use. And then I'll show you how to do it with the larger data set, interview data set that I mentioned earlier. But I will not run the analysis on that interview data set. I'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to actually run it because that's a huge data set and parsing will take a lot of time. So even simple topic extraction will take at least half an hour of the software to run. We don't have that much of a time. So I'm going to show this with a smaller data set, and you'll get to know what are the features and how you can do it on a larger data set for your own benefit. So let me share my screen with you first. Okay, entire screen. Okay, so let me start with going to the Scopus website and download something which is of quite relevance over here. So let's say for general discussion, I am interested in knowing what is the impact of artificial intelligence in classroom. Okay. Okay, so I'm just searching for artificial intelligence in classroom. This is what I'm interested in because one of the problems which we educators are facing is that students are always on, you give them a homework, you give them assignment, and what you get in return is an artificial intelligence written document. So this is what I'm really interested in. So I'm just trying to gauge an idea of what has been done in this area so far. So I log into the Scopus website and do this search of artificial intelligence in classroom, and we'll modify this search in a while. Okay, let's click on this search. Don't need to. Let me show. I've shared that document. Artificial intelligence in classroom. So, okay. Use of, let me modify in teaching. All right. So I've just modified the search to this use of artificial intelligence in teaching. That's it. So it gave me 26,536 documents. We'll modify our search criteria. Let's limit ourselves to the disciplines we are rather concerned about. So by social sciences, limit to arts and humanities, business management and accounting, economics, econometrics, and that's it. Okay, so we're limiting our search to social sciences, arts and humanities, business management, accounting, economics, econometrics, and finance. So limit this. It reduces the documents to 12,513 because most of this artificial agent thing is used in computer sciences and other sciences. Okay, let's limit our search to only articles. That's a document type again, and limit our search to source as in published in journals and language as in published only in English. Okay, that still gives us a high count of data. 5,145 documents are there. Okay, do we need to do any other limitations? Okay, we can limit it from last 3 years. Let's say 2023 to 2026 should do. That still gives us 4,295 documents. Let's limit it. Okay. Yeah. pretty constrained limitation, but still we have got about 3,922 data. So we're not going to use this. I've already shared this document with you. I'm just going to show you what we need to do now. So we select all, and then we go to export, and we click on CSV. So this is the interface that we get. We are not interested in authors and we are not doing a bibliometrics analysis. So we are not interested in doing that. We uncheck this. We are only interested in looking into abstracts. So we simply want abstracts to be downloaded. So I click on over here, abstract, and uncheck the bottom thing, truncate to optimize for Excel, and we simply download abstract. We click on export. It will generate that data set and download it to you there. So it will generate a CSV document which you can download, and then we will use that CSV document to do the analysis. Okay, so I'm closing this window because I have already shared that CSV document with you. I think we have already shared that, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. The name for that is AI class CSV. That is shared in the group. If you can download it and use, we are going to use that. So just keep it handy. AI class.csv. Let me open that CSV file. All right. So this is the file which has, I have truncated this file. The first column I have deleted. The first column was document ID or link that I have deleted. And the heading that you can see over here, let me zoom, was actually AB or abstract. I have renamed it as text. This is absolutely necessary because when R reads a document, it only reads the column where the heading is text, TXT written in smalls. All right. So these are all abstracts of the articles that we have just shortlisted from Scopus. So there are 892 studies over here. This was, I did it earlier. So 892 studies. We are abstract of all 892 studies over here. So this is, of course, a shortcut way of looking at what has been done through research in this particular area. So this is the kind of data set that we are going to analyze. So let me close this file first, and we'll now start with, again, R studio. Somebody raise a hand. Can someone check what was the question there?
Jyotsna has a question, sir.
Yes.
Jyotsna, can you please unmute yourself and put forth your query? Jyotsna, are you there? Aren't you able to unmute yourself? Wait, I'll do it. Yes. Yes, you can now.
Okay, so my question is that is it fair to do any research based on abstract? Can't we use the software to read the whole paper?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Yeah, I'm saying that what you're teaching is purely based on just abstract. Is it the right thing to do when we are doing research to just base our study on abstracts? Shouldn't we do the whole paper?
Jyotsna, okay, I'll ask Ghanshyam to repeat that question. I'm not able to hear it properly. Yes,
so, Jyotsna, her question is that is it fair to only include abstracts while doing a research or planning something to write a research paper? Why not take the full text? But Jyotsna, I think we can move ahead. Sir can briefly answer this, and then we'll move ahead.
Okay, Jyotsna, the idea is that, as I mentioned earlier, if you do the analysis on a larger corpus, then it will take a lot of time. We do not have time here to show how this analysis proceeds. So I am taking a smaller data set to show you the features of the software and how this analysis proceeds. Of course, you should do it on the larger corpus. All right. So that's one thing. At the towards the end of this session, I'll show how to do it with a larger transcript interview database that we have. Of course, that was the idea. Second thing is that while we are still in the stage where we are thinking about writing something or doing something on a particular area, it is better to read the abstract at least to get an idea of what is being done the current state of affairs in that particular research area before committing yourself to doing a larger in-depth study. So that was the quick answer for me. The idea is that abstracts are smaller in volume. I have got lesser amount of data to process because that data needs to be processed. That I'll have to show you. Since we are on an online platform, we have limited time. Processing huge amount of data, it's not feasible for us to show. So I'm going to just show you with a smaller amount of data. That was the reason we chose only abstract. Of course, this analysis can be done and should be done on the entire paper data set that you may have downloaded. I'll show you how to do that. So once you look into the features of the software, how it actually proceeds, you'll be able to do it on your own. So the idea was to take a smaller data set so that the processing time is, speeded up. That's it. Okay, so let's begin. So we are still again going back to RStudio. So please use your RStudio to just fire that RStudio up. And once you're done with this, we are going to type again library. But this time we are going to invoke another package that we installed, that was TALL, TALL. So we are invoking library TALL. So what I'm trying to write is this. So type in library, TALL. Okay, so just type in this and press enter. It will load the package. Okay, once this package is loaded, you look at the bottom side, the end of this message. To start with the TALL app, please digit TALL parentheses. So we are going to do exactly that. As we did in case of BiblioShiny, we are going to do exactly that. So we have to do this. TALL. Not happening in a sense? What sense? Nothing is happening. One minute. One minute. Just give me a second. Okay, sorry. I was catering to the in-person people. So once we have typed in library TALL, that was the first. We are invoking the library now. Once you do that, you get this message. The library has now been invoked. and the prompt is back again. So we simply have to now type in tall, parentheses open and closed. So once you type in there, and and then press enter, the browser will open again and you load the tall shiny app. Okay, text analysis for all, that's the acronym for tall. And again, it also uses AI, as we did in case of BiblioShiny. And to configure that thing, we again have to go the same way. So those who are not able to get an API key, I'll show you just once again how to do that. So this is how the tall interface that you get. Okay, and there on the right hand side top, you have this gear button. Click on this and you come to this interface settings. The first thing that you need to do is to set a working folder. The first option you see on the top, set a working folder. Click on change folder and pick any folder where you want to save the reports that you are going to generate. So that can be any folder. You pick, click on this change folder thing. Pick on any folder in your, in your laptop or desktop, whatever you're doing it, and then simply select. Okay. Done. So because that is the place where the reports will be saved if you want to save them at all. So you set this working folder. In any case, if you don't save a working folder, the moment you begin your analysis, it will ask you to do that. So it is better to do it then only. Okay. Then you look down to the right hand side column, and you have got this tall AI Google Gemini integration, the same as we had in case of bibliometrics. And it also shows you the place where you can get this Google Gemini API key. So there's a link over there, generate one at AI Studio. You click on this, it will open this Google AI Studio web page. I'm already signed into this, that is why this opens up directly. If not, you'll have to log in using your Gmail account. Okay, and this page will be blank if you do not have an API key, never have an API key, and then you have to click create API key. This is the top right hand side. You can see the button over there, create API key. Click on that. You give a name to this API key. Let's say I'm giving it to tall API key. That's the name I gave it to them. And you can choose to create a project or import a new project. So it's better to create a project. We have already done that with demo API, and simply click on create key. It will take a while to create this. The process remains exactly the same as we had done earlier. Of course, you can use the same API key, but it's advisable to use different API key for different analysis, because there may be, you may run into a problem if your API key is exposed inadvertently. Anyway, so you have the option now to copy API key. So simply click on copy key, go back there, and then click on this API key thing and paste it, and then click on set API key. It will take a while to do so while it verifies the API key from Google server. Once it is done, it will be a green checkbox here. The API key has been set. And of course, then you can select the model here. Let's select Gemini 3.0 Flash. If you click on something else, let's say I'm clicking on Gemini 3.1 Pro, it says paid API key required, of course. So we're not going to do that. We are going to make use of Gemini 3.0 Flash. Output size remains medium. No need to change any of this. So once you have done this, we are on the same page. Okay. Then we go back to this left-hand side architecture, and then we have got a section titled corpus. Within that corpus, we have got something called import. The corpus is a technical term used in textual analysis using computers, which is basically what we call in otherwise database. So corpus is a database. आपके browser पर just below corpus you have got import. Click on import. Okay, just a reminder, this will work only if you have set your working directory. If you have not set your working directory, it will not work. So once you have done, click on import on the left hand side and this dialog box will come up. Okay, shall we proceed? Yeah. So right hand side you see import controls. You click on this, you'll get a drop down menu and let's have a look at this. So you can load text files. We'll see that. You can load file from BiblioShiny if you have saved it in this format. You can load tall structured file, that is a native format for this software. We don't have any of these. You can also load Wikipedia pages. Let me show you. I'm not going to analyze this. I'll show you what happens. You click on Wikipedia pages and then it asks you to search Wikipedia for the topic that you want to search for. Let me search artificial intelligence. Okay, how many pages to search? You can set it, maximum being 20, don't do that long. Let me search for 3 pages. Okay, and then click start. All right, so it has gathered information about Wikipedia pages. 3 pages we asked, it has got 3 entries over here. Then we can begin analyzing this text. We do not want to do that. I was just showing you what you can do it. We're not analyzing this text because it will take a lot of time to analyze this Wikipedia text. But you can directly search Wikipedia pages from here and get a drift of what is happening over there. So I'm going to reset it. There's a button called reset. I'll reset it. All right. Resetting will restart all so that we take up a new data set. Otherwise, you cannot take up a new data set. Again, go to import, click on import controls, and there are built-in sample collections also. I'll just show you what are those built-in sample collections. We are going to work with our own pages, but I'll just show you. So use a sample collection. You have got different sample collections already there. BBC News, US airline tweets for a lot of time. Let's say click on this. So this was collected in 2015, February 2015. And you can analyze that tweets also. Sorry. You can analyze tweets also. This is what I was trying to tell you. Any sort of data which has got textual context can be analyzed to understand what topics are being discussed, what themes can be extracted from that. All right. So we're not going to use any of these. We are going to use the data that we have already with us. So we are going to use load text files. Click on this. Load text files and the file format below. We click on again a drop down menu. We click on CSV because the data that we downloaded from Scopus was stored in the CSV format. So we downloaded CSV. Okay. So we are from import controls, we are looking at load text files only. And then we get a drop down format. We select file format as CSV, not TXT. It can read TXT files, it can read Excel sheets, it can read PDF files, but we are using CSV. The moment you click on CSV, couple of things happens. Number one, we have got a CSV separator, which is by default comma. CSV, in fact, itself is comma separated values. So it is by default comma, you don't have to change anything. A warning comes up. The column including text in your CSV or Excel file must be named as text. So that's the reason why we had this column renamed as text. Okay. So simply browse and select that file that we had done. Okay. Now I'm fine. You must have saved it somewhere. Okay, so this was the AI class.csv that we had shared with you. Simply click open and it shows upload complete. So once you have done it, click start. All right, so it is giving you a preview of what the data contains. All right, so every row is actually the abstract, full abstract of one single paper. So it calls that row a document. So that is why it is renamed as doc 001, 002 and all that. So this is simply a preview of what we have actually done over here. The next steps are absolutely crucial. We should pay very, very close attention to what I'm saying. All right. The next step is we're not going to into edit as of now. This is not required over here. We're going into pre-processing. Click on pre-processing. It will expand. You click on pre-processing, it will expand. And the word comes as tokenization and POS tagging. Click on that. Pre-processing will expand and then you will get tokenization and POS tagging. Click on that and this window will come. Before we do anything over here, let me tell you what exactly are we going to do right now. So what we are going to do is, what the software will do, it will, let me fire up that file, CSV file. Okay. So we have uploaded this CSV file. Let me show you this. Zoom. Oops. Okay, this is the file that we have uploaded. The column is typed as text. So what it will do is, it will number one, remove the articles. Say for example, in this particular sentence that we read, the rapid development of artificial intelligence, it will remove the, it will remove of, it will remove has, it will remove the, it will remove and so things. These are the typical stop words which have got no meaning in analysis. They only take space, it will remove that. That's one thing that we're going to do. Again, it will remove punctuations, commas, full stop, exclamation. It is going to remove that. Second thing that is good, third thing that's going to do is it will put everything in small, lower cases, no capitals used at all. English has got this special problem. If you type he with capital H, it either means start of a sentence or it means God. If we write he with small h, it means we, he. So that's a special problem with English. So what it does is it lower cases everything. So whether we are talking about God or we are talking about he, a human being, that will be inferred from the context. But every single word is now lowercase. So number one, we are removing articles, we are removing conjunctions, prepositions, we are removing all of that. Okay, we are removing punctuation marks, all of that is removed. Then we are making it small case, lower cases. This is the standard in all computer science things. When you look at the codes, everything is written in small cases, just to speed up the things. So that will be done. So that is what we are trying to do. That's number one. That's called cleaning of data. If they have got any special characters embedded, it will also ignore that. That's cleaning of data. Once this is done, the next process is where the magic happens. What it will do, it will treat every row as one document. So in that case, we have got 891 documents, right? So it will treat every row as a document, which in fact is, because it is the full abstract of a particular paper. And then it will divide this document into multiple, technically what we call tokens. Tokens are nothing but words. I'm loosely translating. There's a slight difference between the meaning, but you can understand that it will divide our document into different words. And words will become the unit of analysis. The document itself is not a unit of analysis. It will divide it into different words. So these words are now tokens. So one document will be divided into multiple tokens. All right. And then what it will do is it will, the technical word is it will find lemma, lemmatization. Lemmatization means you are extracting, stripping away a word to the bare root. For example, if I write sought, if I write seeking, both are actually, the root is seek. The root word is seek. Sought in the past, seeking either currently doing something, but the root idea is to seek. So what it will do is it will collate all those words, seeking, sought, and other variants of that, and replace it with the lemma, seek. So that will give you the abstract idea. We're not looking into seeking, and sought has got no different meaning. The idea was something was being sought, or something is being sought. That's it. That's the idea. So what it will do is it will strip every word to its barest root, and that is what is called lemma. And the analysis will now be performed on those elements. So instead of searching for seeking, instead of searching for sought, it will search for seek, any variants of seek. It will do that. All right. So this is what is going to happen over here in this case. All right. Tokenization and posting. Tokenization is this, breaking down a document into different words. So that is called a token, and then it will lemmatize it. It will convert it into different, root words. So if you look at this, there are different models through which you can do this. All right. So you can explore. The language is English, of course, and it can read many languages. It can even read Bengali. It can read Hindi. I'll show you. It reads Hindi also. All right. And then the tree banks, the repository based on which it identifies which are the keywords, which are the conjunctions and all things. They are different basis for that. For beginning, we don't have to worry about this. Just go with the default settings. You don't have to worry anything about at all. All right. So what this does is these boxes are checked at the bottom. You can see token normalization. It will lowercase everything. Lemma normalization. It will lowercase the lemmas also. All right. So one particular step, it is carrying a lot of things behind it. It is cleaning up data. It is breaking down documents into different tokens. It is then lemmatizing the tokens. It is doing it all of that at once. Okay.
The text in A1 cell needs to be entered manually in all other CSV files.
Yes. Okay. So simply click on this play button over here. Simply click on play button over here. It will take some time depending on how large your corpus is. Ours is not that large, so it will take a few seconds probably, and it will be done. Remember, we have not yet begun any analysis. This is only data preparation. We're preparing data for analysis. We have not begun doing any analysis at all. So somebody asked earlier, why not do it on entire, actual papers? This is the reason. See, we have got only abstracts of 891 papers, and lemmatization, tokenization is taking time. It takes time. So if you've got a large corpus, it will take a lot of time. It will take about an hour, 2 hours. We'll come to that. That's the next step. Okay, as it goes on, let me show you again. We have got this info and references over here. With every single command that you have, you will have info and references. That is again, as I said, the entire manual of what this particular function does. You can click on that, read it at any time to understand what is being done in this particular module and this particular analysis. Okay, let's see. No, it has not yet happened. Oh, meanwhile, you can see if there are any queries. Okay. No queries. Okay. So it has done the cleaning up, it has done tokenization, it has done lemmatization, and we have still not begun any analysis. So scroll down it says to select the analysis term. Are we doing with tokens, that is words, or are we doing with lemmas? We're doing it with lemmas. There's no point in doing it with tokens. Okay. So by default, lemma is selected. We don't have to change anything. No, we're not selecting it. Lemma is by default selected. We're doing our analysis on lemma only. Okay. So no, don't need to change anything. Yeah, we'll keep on. Yeah. It is already selected. It will be green. It is in green color, no?
Sir, there is a question.
Nothing. Don't have anything. All right. So the cleanup has been done. All right. Now a few more steps need to be cleaned up. As ma'am asked, are we going to look into synonyms or also not? So this is what is called POS. POS is parts of speech tagging. So this is the next step. Once this is done, you see the left-hand side pre-processing has expanded. Few more things have come. Okay. So now click on tagging and special entities. You click on the second thing. Tokenization and post tagging has already been done. We click on tagging and special entities.
Sir, there is a question.
Yes.
Which option you chose to run the tokenization currently?
Okay, let's go back to this. The option was language English, tree bank was gum. This is a play button over here. Simply click on this, it will run the analysis.
Okay.
The green color play button over here, right below English, click on this, it will run. So I'm not changing the tree bank, the database remains the same. We're going with defaults. All right, so once tokenization is done, we come to tagging special entities. You click on this and see what are the special entities. If your text contains email IDs, URLs, there are emojis, you can find in when you do collect reviews from a website, you find many things. You find hashtags in Twitter accounts, you have IP addresses, and you have mentions at username mentions. So these are special entities that needs to be recognized as such. Your text may contain, may not contain, but it's always safer to run this. So click on this play button, the green play button, simply. It will do a quick analysis. And it has identified there is one email address mentioned somewhere, the 3 hashtags, there's one IP address and about 14 URLs. So it has tagged those tokens and said that these are these things. This is simply identifying the parts of what are these. Now we come to what we call this. You can see in the table also. If you click on this annotated test table, same information given in tabular form. So we don't have to worry about that. This is only thing. Next thing is that what we come to multi-word. Okay. So we come to multi-word, and below multi-word, one thing is the first option is automatic. So click on that, automatic. So what is this actually doing? It is identifying phrases, combinations of different words which form phrase. So those phrases will be special entities which will be used for analyzing this. So there are different ways of doing that. Again, the algorithm, they have a lot of choices. Don't click on any of these. We're going with the default choices, which is dependency parsing. If you want to look into the details of that, please click on info and references. It has got a huge detail of which one to use. So by default, the NP parsing is the most commonly used one. We're going to do that. So don't have to worry, change anything here at all. No changes. Simply click on this play button, green button. Okay, it has identified certain keywords, combinations, artificial intelligence, higher education, generative artificial intelligence, use of AI, AI literacy, AI integration. So you can see there are 1,414 entries. So it has identified these many, what we call n-grams or n-grams. Okay, that's it. If you have already a corpus, a list of such things, you can use that also, custom. So there's an option here, you can see on the left-hand side. Below automatic is by a list. So you can upload that list. If you already have a ready-made list of phrases, you can upload that list and then click on this play button. It will do it that way. We are not going to do that. Then going with the automatic. Okay. Then we have got an option for custom POS list. This is again POS is parts of speech. If you have got a set of words which you identify as noun, pronoun, whatever, your own created ones, you can import it, use it to do the tagging. We are not going to any of this. Synonyms merging If you have a custom list of synonyms, upload it, merge it. We are ignoring all of that. We are going with POS tag selection, the last option. POS tag selection. Click on that. So by default, it retains only 4 items. Look at the classic POS tags. So only 4 items are checked over here. Adjectives, nouns, proper nouns, and verbs. Okay, what this means, it can identify, rather it has already identified these parts of speech. But for analysis, it will only use the ones which we have checked. It is going to ignore everything else. So it is going to ignore subordinate conjunction, it is going to ignore punctuation, it is going to ignore particles, it is going to ignore pronouns, it is going to ignore auxiliaries and adverbs and adpositions and what other things. It is going to ignore that. We are only considering adjectives because it defines something. We are going to look at nouns, they are the entities, pronouns are the entities, of course, sorry, noun and proper nouns are entities, and the action words are verbs. So what is being done? So we are going only to retain that. All right. So this is filtration of the data. Special entities, if you want to retain any of those special entities, we're not interested in the hashtags because we're not, analyzing Twitter data. So you can uncheck it.
Sir, there is one more query.
Yes, ma'am.
How to open tokenization and post tagging?
Once you import your data and press the processing button, this will come and then pre-processing will open up automatically. So you click on tokenization and post tagging, then click on this button and it will process. Unless this processing has been done, this pre-processing button will not appear. This only appears when this first step of importing data and processing has been done. Okay, I'll show it again if it happens. Let me proceed with this first at least. Okay, so POS tag selection, we are doing it. We are unchecked hashtags. We are not interested in Twitter terms. And then there's an additional filter called HA packs. HA packs is words which are used only once in the entire course. So those are probably unique words. We need to understand what are those words. So simply click on the play button over here. Last at the bottom, we have got a play button. Just click on that play button and we'll process. Processing is done. So it has identified all these. You can see this in the table also. Okay. Development is a noun, artificial is an adjective, intelligence is noun. It has done this tagging. It has taken data from text and done the tag. It has already done it. All right. Done. Right. Okay. Now we begin with our analysis. So far we have only prepared our corpus for analysis. Now we begin our analysis. So what we're going to do is to click on the analysis. In the left hand side, we have got an overview. Just click on this overview button. This overview gives you a graphical summary of the data set that you have. You have got 891 documents, 891 articles we had downloaded, and with 8,094 sentences, 2,01,009 tokens, data types, lemmas, and all that. This is text to type to text ratio TTR. Higher ratio means your vocabulary is richer. This is HPACs. 39% words have been used uniquely in the text. And then you have got different readability measures and complexity measures. Higher value means your data is more complex, the document is more complex. Overview, yes.
Sir, Aditya has a question.
Is presented in table. If you look at the tab over here, table, same information presented in tabular form, nothing else. Same information presented in vocabulary form. So these are the words which have been used most of the times. So different words with their frequencies and the tagging of parts of speech.
So Aditya has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
These all exercises possible with PDF files also? Suppose if he upload 50 article PDF files, can he do all these functions?
Yes. PDF, yes. It reads PDFs, it reads Excel sheets also. This is all done. But for PDF, it will extract the data first and then do this analysis. So steps will become slightly, lengthier. processing will become slightly lengthy. Okay. Now, based on this, what we have done so far, we are going to do something called a word cloud. Click on this word cloud. Word cloud will actually list the most widely used or most frequently used words in this entire corpus. For that, you have to, before you do this, there is a gear icon there. What we call hamburger icon there on the right hand side. You click on that, you have got options. So you can, change the number of words you want in your word cloud. You can change the size of text and everything. That's the option. And then simply click on play. Okay. So this is your word cloud, most widely used throughout this corpus that of 891 articles that we have put. Student study, tool, classroom learning, AI use. This gives you a basic idea of what is being discussed in this corpus. So same information presented in a tabular form. If you click on this frequency table over here, same information presented in terms of frequency count. So always click on this option button first and see. So which tag are we looking at? We are looking at the nouns which have been most widely used. So click on this play button, then it will generate. So student is the most widely used term here, noun here. Learning, teacher, study. All right. So this is a frequency. 2,500 times has this word student being used in this corpus. All right. All right. So this is basic of what we have understood so far. That the major terms that have been discussed in this corpus is use of AI in teaching, in learning, used by students in the classroom. What are the results about that? And the most frequently used noun terms are student and learning and everything. If you're not getting this diagram, please make sure that you have clicked on the option button first. Always click on the option button first, then only click on the play button. It will generate you a diagram. Okay. Now you can look into this morphological features which are more for linguistic analysis, not concerned mainly for social science analysis. So I'm going to skip on that. Look at the dependency tree. I'll show you this. For those who are from English, I'll show you this. Let's say I'm talking about artificial. Okay. Now I look at show tree button over here. Artificial, any word. Okay. This is specific, especially for those language experts. It has got no meaning for us sociological experts. It's more for language. But I'm trying to show you what are the features over here. So I'm searching for a word called artificial. It's searched and it shows a dependency tree. You can open this. This is a large document in a separate tab. So right click on this, open image in a new tab, and then it opens up in a new tab. This is a fresh tab. You can zoom in and you can see how this sentence was constructed. You can see that. Okay. Okay. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence. This is the entire abstract that we're talking about. How this is constructed. This is more for interest of the linguist, not for social scientists. So I'm just going to close it. I wanted to show that this is of use to them. All right. All right. So far what we have seen is the most frequently used words. Now we come to what we call keyness. If you look at the analysis, we have a word called keyness. Scroll down, we've got keyness. Click on that. Click on this options button always before generating anything. Okay, it will give you an idea what this keyness is. The keyness tries to identify those words in your corpus which have been used out of proportion. That means in normal speech, the frequency of use of that words compared to that, the frequency of use of that words in the corpus. Okay. So what are those words which have been used more frequently in the corpus compared to the normal speech? So there's an inbuilt reference corpus there, which is basically, a large corpus of normal human English speech. So we're going to compare with that. If you click on this play button over here, it will do a keyness learning and analysis. So while it is running, I'll tell you again what the skewness basically means. It is basically a comparison of words which have been used more often in this corpus compared to use in normal speech. For example, if I'm a highly specialized person talking about artificial intelligence. So in normal speech, artificial intelligence does not figure in quite frequently, but in my speech, it will be a more prominent data. So learning, students, teaching, education, teacher, study, classroom, artificial, and intelligence. These are the words in blues, which are tagged in blues. They have been used predominantly more frequently in this corpus compared to normal speech. So this gives you the basic idea of what kind of document are you looking at, what kind of discussions you are actually making. So these are the keywords. The words in red have been used less frequently in the corpus compared to normal speech. So, for example, we are talking very little about people. We are talking very little about having a good time. These are the words which have not been used in this corpus or have been used in this corpus very, very infrequently. So the basic idea is we are talking about learning, students, teaching, education, teachers, study, classroom, artificial, and intelligence. This also gives us an idea that if we are trying to extract a theme from this corpus, probably they will form the key theme areas of what is being discussed because they are the words most commonly being discussed. So based on that, you can also have a word cloud. Click on this word cloud. Always go to the options first and then click on display. It will generate your word cloud. It has already done your word cloud. Just wait a couple of seconds. And since we do not have much time, what I'm going to do is we are going to go straight to two things which we actually wanted to do over here. One is topic modeling and the other one is theme extraction. There are a lot of other things that we can do. I'm not going to do that because we are short of time. I'm going to straight to that topic modeling in this. So this is the word count based on those words, set of words which have been used more frequently in this corpus compared to the normal speech that we have. All right. All right. So if you scroll down there over here, we have got something called words. Click on words. Okay. So once you click on words, we go to Reinhard clustering. Now what we are going to do in the first option in words is Reinhard clustering. What we are seeing over here are there are two different methods used in computational statistics to find out the sentences, phrases, or documents which are closer in meaning to each other. So these are two different ways of or statistical algorithms of identifying topic areas or themes. One of them is Reinhard clustering, which I'm going to run here, and then there is something called LDA, latent dirichlet algorithm, which is the most popular one, LDA. We're going to do that also. So the idea is to compare and contrast what this linear clustering gives you and what idea does LDA gives you. So you just click on the options button first. So maximum number of clusters that we're going to identify is 10. That is okay. We'll go with default and click on this run the analysis button. It will take some time. And this is the place where actual machine learning is happening. It is rifling through every single data set. What is actually doing behind the building? What it does is it chops down your entire corpus into different segments. Within that segment, it analyzes the keywords and then compares different segments of the data set which have similar meanings. Then combines them together, then re-identifies the words which are key, then combines it together, then chops them together. This is going on 1,000 times behind this. We're not seeing this. This is simply not humanly possible to do. It can only be done through machines. So the process is you have got this bigger corpus, chopping it down into different blocks, and then intensely identifying one single block, finding out what are the keywords, then put those blocks which have got similar keywords together, then chop them again into final grids, and then identify keywords, then cluster into grids. This is reiterated process. So the final clusters will have a very high confidence of those words which are closer in meaning together. So it has identified 10 clusters, as we show that this is called a dendrogram. it shows how these clusters are combined. So the first combination happens between cluster 5 and 6. The second combination happens between cluster 7 and 8. Then between these 4, they all form together, goes to this cluster. We'll see that in the summary sheet. Click on the summary here. So positively associated terms, negatively associated terms. It has bifurcated that into this. You look at this. Probably not make much sense over here because this is not our area of expertise. It has identified certain publishers, Taylor and Francis, Springer, and others, and they have probably NDPI. They are probably using publishing more in terms of artificial intelligence, and they have some complaints about Francis and Taylor, and that is why that is in negatively associated terms. Not much to read into this. You look at terms by cluster. Okay, but what it has done is, what is the demerit of Reinhardt clustering and what does this represent? I'll tell you. What it has done is basically, it has divided this entire corpus into different, what we call themes. And it has also given label to those themes, the key terms of those themes. So if you look at this, the first, the key term over here, the first cluster, it has identified 10 clusters. The first cluster is characterized by these terms. If you look at this. Derivatives, grant, permission, reproduction, access, these are all terms for the first cluster. Publication, availability. If you look into second cluster, the words are synthetic, trade, pivotal, discovery. And if you look at the third cluster, the keywords are businesses, non-commercial use, and all that. But Reinhardt clustering has not given us very identifiable or intelligently termed labels. So we are going to fall back into what we call LDA. So for that, what we'll go is, we'll go to documents. The last topic there, we'll go to documents. And then click on topic modeling. Documents, click on topic modeling. And within that, we have got something called K-choice. Click on K-choice. By default, it uses the model, as I mentioned, LDA. It will try to find out how many themes can be extracted meaningfully from this text. So we don't have to do anything at all. We simply have to run this K analysis. It will run the analysis. It will take some time to do this. And once we have done this modeling thing, we'll go into the sentiment analysis of the text that we have. We hope that LDA will give us more meaningful, classification or themes that we could extract. Reinhardt classification did not give us anything at all.
Sir, there is one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you also taking us through the usability of R and R Studio or just these AI use cases in this session?
We are using this analysis on R already. This app is being run on R and R Studio.
Okay, sir.
So instead of typing in codes and producing this tables and graphs, we are using an app which is running on R, where we can click on different modules to get our results. We are not typing any codes. That's the idea. We can run everything, whatever you see here, what are the codes or diagrams that you see here, they can be all reproduced using R Studio or R, but then you'll have to type in manually the codes. So what we have done is, on top of those codes, we have built a GUI. We have not built a GUI. The researchers have built a GUI, and that GUI is running, and the software that is running behind the scene is R. So we are actually using R to generate all this. Okay, this takes a bit of time to do this. I just wanted to. I'm sticking on this particular page. I can do some other analysis also because this is being run in background. But I want to stick to this page for the express reason that I want to show that even a small data set takes some time to run. So the algorithm that we have used by Carl Juan developed in 2009, it has identified 5 models that can be meaningfully extracted. Okay, we have not extracted the themes yet, but there are other metrics also. If you look at this, you'll find that there are other metrics have identified different number of themes that can be meaningfully extracted. But the final recommendation is based on consensus. So 5 themes can be meaningfully extracted from this data set. Let's extract those themes now. So we go to model estimation. Just below K choice, click on model estimation. Click on this hamburger menu once again to see what we are going to do. We are going to estimate 5 models by default selected, and then click on this play button. Okay. This was in documents. Click on documents, it will expand. All right, so it has extracted 5 themes and listed the keywords. So based, it has not named them. Remember, it has not named them. So topic 1 has keywords as student, learning, classroom, whether they improve or enhance. So the concern here is whether students use AI in classroom, whether it enhances their learning or not. So that's one concern. So it's topic number 1. Topic number 2, you see education research, technology, framework, design. So how to use generative AI for doing education research. That is concern number 2. This is topic number 2. Topic number 3 talks about teachers, their intelligence, their use of this in classroom, and their use of technology in schools. All that's concern number 3. 3 different things. If you click on this right hand button over there, it will show you the next 2. Fourth area is use of ChatGPT specifically for group studies or for developing skills. So these are keywords. I'm framing the topics based on keywords. Okay, it has not framed it. And the last one is integration of AI as a potential tool for pedagogical reasons. That's the fifth concern. So now it has given you some meaningful themes that can be extracted from this data. So the entire 891 papers that we have downloaded and analyzed are basically divided, talking about 5 different themes. First is use of AI by students in the classroom. Second is use of AI for education research. Third one is use of AI by teachers for instruction. Fourth one is use of ChatGPT or generative AIs for self-improvement by students. Fifth one is use of AI as a pedagogical tool for teaching classic learning. These are the 5 themes that it has extracted, all right, from this data. Last thing that we're going to do is sentiment analysis. So you click on the last button over here, find sentiment analysis, you scroll down. Sorry, sentiment analysis. Okay. And once you open sentiment analysis, the first one is polarity detection. It simply tries to find out extremes, positive and negative expressions in the entire discourse. So look on the hamburger menu. It will looking into the entire documents. Click on this play button. All right. So this is overwhelmingly very positive. This entire discourse is overwhelmingly very positive. You can see this, and you can see it's very, very skewed. The box plot is very skewed. It has very negative comments are very, very few. You can see very negative comments are only 2.36% of the entire corpus. Very positive comments form 90% of the entire corpus. Okay. So what are the top words? You can see, look at this. So top words which are used positively are intelligence, support, enhancement, improvement, skills. We are very positive about AI. Top negative words are used for critical implication problems. We are talking about limitations and all that. So when we're talking about that, these are top negative words doing that. But more than this polarity, simple, positive, negative, we can have a range of emotions which we can detect. So the next one, the last one, we'll finish this here, is emotion detection. So click on emotion detection. And then click on this hamburger menu. Detection is by documents also, and click run the analysis. So the earlier was simple polarity where we identified a negative and positive words only. This is a range of emotions you'll see and find that, yeah. So again, the overwhelming emotion is trust, the green one, then anticipation, joy, then comes fear, surprise, sadness, anger, and disgust. They are the lesser, feelings expressed in this. So top words by emotion, you can find intelligence, joy, you can, let's say angry. What are we angry about? Challenges, limitations, biases, and barriers to adoption. We are angry about this. In the corpus, what we are disgusted about? Disgusted about plagiarism concerns and lies that AI can produce. We all know about that. What we're surprised about? We're surprised about its ability to be used as a teaching tool for assessments, also for dynamic scores. Also, for those who have been using artificial intelligence quite regularly, will find that is actually was very surprising that it can do student grades very easily. So this is what we are doing this way. This same thing can be represented by document heat map. It shows the overwhelming sentiment is of trust in this entire discourse. Okay. Last thing, you can go to summarization and you can do an abstract. It's already an abstract, so we don't need to do an abstract. We can do something else. We can do an extractive abstract, and you can do, generate an abstract for the entire corpus. It will take a lot of time to do that. This is it. So this is, in short, what we have done. We have identified the sentiments. We have identified the models, the topics for themes that have been extracted from the data. Now, if you look at what we have done so far, you can understand that even for survey interview data, you can put in this into the corpus and it can extract the major themes that has been discussed in this entire corpus. That can be done. The only issue is that with large data set, this entire analysis will take a lot of time to process and run. That's why we are not sure it using this. We are sure it using only the smaller possible data set. What I'll show one particular thing and then end up over here. Okay, we have got Shakespeare's plays in text format. So all of the entire Shakespeare's play can be plugged into this, and you can identify what are the major themes being discussed in Shakespeare's plays. It can be done. You can identify particular words, how have they been used across different plays. For example, murder of king. So how many plays does it talk about murder of king? And what are the circumstances where he talks about murder of king? So that can also be analyzed using this. You can also analyze, that's already in text format. You can also analyze what we have got in actual surveyed data set in this transcript. Okay, this is in Hindi. This is an actual transcript of an actual interview that took place as part of Akanksha ma'am's research. But the problem is, it cannot be analyzed the way it is written now. What we have to do is, we have to construct a tabular format. I'll show you the end result. I'm not sure how it was done. Okay, big file. So for every respondent, we have got multiple questions. So one row, one question for every respondent, and the answer is there in the heading as text. Sorry, let me zoom in. So this is respondent number 1, question, answer. Respondent number 1, again, next question, answer. So these all answers are entered into the third column, which we label as text. This is what we're interested in analyzing. So you cannot upload the doc files and not analyze, but you have to do it this way. You have to ultimately convert it this way. And this is where being a professor at a good university counts. You have got artists to do this manual work. Otherwise, you can make use of artificial intelligence models to do this work for you, which I would love to show, but we do not have time to show it here today. So that's it from my side. Thank you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, they can be filtered. You can do it two ways. Either way, you do it from the corpus itself, select filter, or you can do it over here also. But then I'll have to look into different features. Can I answer it? Session. I think we have a validity session also.
Yes, yes, sir. Ma'am is already here. Good afternoon, everyone. Ekta ma'am is already here. Thank you, sir. Thank you for such an enriching session. And sir, I would request you to kindly drop your email ID because I think students must be having some queries, and they can get in touch with you. So sir will drop his email ID. You can reach out to him. And so our next speaker is also here. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good
We'll
afternoon.
just begin in 2 minutes, ma'am. Sorry for the session that just.
No issue. I can understand. Like these delays are part and parcel of any.
Ma'am, you are mute. I'll just make you the co-host. Give me a minute.
Okay. Okay, am I audible now? Hi, Akanksha ma'am, am I audible now?
We can yeah, I think
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, as I was saying, these delays and everything is part and parcel of workshops. I can totally understand and relate.
Thank you, ma'am. So yes, I think thank you, sir, once again. And I think, sir, you have dropped your email for the participants, sir. You have dropped your email.
Yes, ma'am, we have the email ID.
Okay. So I think we can thank sir once again, and maybe welcome ma'am for the last session. So good afternoon, ma'am. We have Dr. Ekta Manhas, who is an assistant professor in the Department of National Security Studies at the Central University of Jammu. Ma'am holds an MA, MPhil, and PhD from the School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Currently, ma'am teaches and conducts research in security studies, border management, and foreign policy at the Central University of Jammu. And recently, ma'am has also developed an interest in researching the epistemology of India centric research. And therefore, ma'am will be actually conducting a session on integrating Indian knowledge systems into modern research methodologies. So, we welcome you once again, ma'am, and we really apologize for the delay. So, yes, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Akanksha ma'am. I would request Dr. Rahul maybe to play me PPT because there is a network issue at my end, and it would be good if the PPT is operated from there. So, yes.
Yeah, sir will be possibly doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I will be doing that. Just give me a minute.
So, till the time being, thank you so much for having me in today's session. So, I was really intrigued by the last session by Dr. Karan. The hands-on session are really indeed the bedrock of any methodology courses and workshops. But this session is going to be a little different. So, since I'm from the social sciences background, we are going to discuss and contemplate on integrating IKS into modern methodologies. So it is more going to be a critical way, and whatever is existing in research and teaching the IKS system, we are going to, discuss. And I would also want participants to be active so that we can have some kind of active discussion on whatever we are going to discuss in today's presentation. So yes.
Sir, have you been able to share the screen, Rahul sir? Sir is on it. Just give him.
Okay. I would have done it, but network issue is quite.
No problem, sir. Rahul sir will do it. Just give us.
Akanksha ma'am, can you please give me what is the participant, what is their background, and what is their level of academic journey, whether they are scholars or faculties
So yes, ma'am, we have a range of participants. So some are faculty members as well. Some are students who are working in social sciences, and some also, I mean, social sciences. Some are doing sociology, anthropology, and other psychology, all those stuffs. And there are some students who are also engaged with English literature and all those disciplines. So yes, we have a range of students and who are researchers, participants, also faculty members who are doing some bit of research work with a qualitative approach, and that actually makes them be here and be part of our workshop. So yes, ma'am, we are on it, like preparing your PPT for sharing the screen. So give us a moment, ma'am.
Sure.
Ma'am, I have it with me. I just give me a minute. Probably I will be doing it for you. Just give a second.
Okay.
There is some movement with the camera. Just a second. Ma'am, I think it's visible to our participants. Ma'am, can you see it?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, I'll just mute myself.
Mhm. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, over to you, please. You can start.
Thank you so much, Amity, for having me in today's session. And at the outset, good afternoon to one and all present here. So, as I was saying earlier, that the last session was a hands-on session, but this session is going to be a little different. So, next slide, please, ma'am. So what we are going to do today is like we are just going to discuss like what IKS is doing in modern methodologies, and my aim is simply not to uphold IKS or not to dismiss it either, but rather this session and we are going to do we are going to focus on entirely taking IKS as serious enough to ask hard methodological questions here. Ma'am, next slide, please. So this is a brief overview of today's presentation. So what we are going to do is, we often speak of India's civilizational heritage and glorious past. The language and the buzzword are very important politically and culturally, and they do not produce research by themselves. So, this session will be an attempt to rethink and reimagine IKS as a methodological approach, as a way of asking questions, gathering evidence, reasoning, intervening, and so that IKS, we can think IKS should bridge what is happening on the ground and what appear in policies, curricula, and research funding. Otherwise, what happens is IKS risk becoming decorative and reductionist. So by reductionist, I mean that it should not be a buzzword. So, but it should translate into some kind of serious academic research. And for that, we need to reassess what is already being propagated as a methodology and as a teaching curriculum practices. And thereafter, we can deduct what could be the way forward. So what I'm going to also do in this presentation is bringing on some methodological lessons or their journey lessons from China and from African decolonial shifts. And by that, we can deduct some what is lacking in the Indian setup and how we can chart out the new journey in integrating IKS into our methodological and teaching curriculums. Next slide, please, ma'am. So before moving on to, before critiquing what should be the way forward or what should be the way to reimagine IKS as a research methodology, we need to acknowledge that there is a significant policy push for IKS in today's time. So for example, there are three sectors that have identified in terms of, what are the key initiatives and direction that are already at the policy and institutional front. First is the NEP 2020. It calls for explicitly integrating IKS and Indian languages across higher education. So that may be research and curriculum itself. So that has a diverse disciplines, including mathematics, science, arts, humanities, and languages, etc. So second, push at policy level is clearly visible in the UGC guidelines, like for example in 2023 and the subsequent documents that gives university a mandate, a formal framework to introduce IKS courses, like whatever is happening in R, and I'm sure it must be happening across the universities, and foundation paper and component within the existing programs. So third, policy level and curriculum shift is being evident, it is evident in national higher education qualification frameworks and model curricula mentioning IKS linked courses or units in multiple disciplines itself. So these are the important moves, but the question I want to raise here in today's discussion or presentation is, what kind of IKS is being invited in and what kind of methodology is being drawn into. So next slide, please. Yes. The second push we can see in institutional and ministerial mechanisms. So alongside policy texts, so there is a significant push in that direction also. For example, the establishment of IKS division by the Ministry of Education, which coordinates policy, funding, and academic initiatives around IKS is very much functional these days. It is a nodal authority through which many call for proposals, collaboration, and conferences are being routed in today's academia. And in universities, like setting up of IKS centers or IKS cell, like what is happening in my university as well. So these units, these innovative units, they are being asked to design IKS courses, sponsor research projects, and organize outreach. Also, the regulators such as UGC and AICTE, they are encouraging IKS modules, FDPs, and institutional centers, to facilitate the IKS in the institutional manner. Next slide, please. So, though we are pushing, yes, last slide. So we are pushing these at the institution level, but the key methodological question is: will these centers and program simply curate content, or they will become a site where new methods are tried and refined? So that is a very important kind of reflection that we need to have on whatever is happening at the institutional level. And the third part, the thematic and sectoral pushes in the IKS sector. And there are many sectors, such as mentioned in the PPT itself, like Ministry of Ayush, CSIR, and DST programs. So they are also inculcating or pushing traditional knowledge through these programs and thematic and sectoral pushes in various sectors. So I won't go into details. So what kind of thematic push is being, done or curated by the government itself. But what is important for us to understand it is that all of this shows that at the institutional and policy level, and at every level, that India has been taking steps to integrate IKS as a serious research methodology. But at the same time, it also raises a serious question that does this translate into a robust research methodology, or does it mostly produce documentation and symbolism? So with that question in mind, we will move on to discussing the next part of the presentation. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. So the previous one. Yes, thank you. So the question that we are going to take up from the last slide or last point of discussion is whether India can move forward by looking backwards. So is IKS heavy in heritage and very light in practice? So now I want to shift this entire discussion from description to critique now. So not all but significant part of current IKS discourse is heritage heavy and practice light. So that means, I've gone through the various documents, policy centers, and curriculums of various universities that they have floated, and majority of it is tilted towards, framing India as an ancient glory and civilization pride. So we hear a lot about past texts, sages, and monuments, which can easily turn what I call a museum view of knowledge. So what is museum view of knowledge? That there is a distance, like we are glorifying the past. I know there is no harm in that, but the question that should really intrigue us as a researcher and us as a serious, practitioners, that what is the way forward. So what is the way forward? Like we should be linking the current problems and current research agendas in these kind of initiatives. So in that museum view that I was just talking about, the job of university and researchers have been transformed to display and admire and not to interrogate and extend. So again, the experience or this point comes from my own practice and the data and the documents that are already there that are shaping the current IKS trajectory. So what is happening as a result is the current IKS and current research agendas are weak and rhetorical. So I say with this, as a responsible person, because the current discussion of research demands a critical engagement and experimentation. Because a good methodology, next slide, please. A good methodology would force us to ask, what is the claim? What is the evidence? Under which condition does it work? Can it fail? And how do we know? So, the another critique is of IKS is that IKS is frequently treated as an add-on, kind of course or add-on kind of curriculum, not and research engine itself. So, in many institutions, IKS appeared as an extra course, a value education paper, or a token module bolted to an otherwise unchanged syllabus. So it is seldom shapes how we form research questions, hypotheses, or methodological designs in the core of a discipline. So at the same time, IKS is often presented as a single harmonious tradition. So, and that is the biggest problem that, whenever we talk about integrating some kind of India-centric model, so we find this one contradiction in itself, that this is very inherent. It is not a contradiction, but somehow we have been ignoring and marginalizing this kind of reality in the Indian setup, that India is presented as harmonious single tradition. So in fact, owning to India's diversity in the past as well as present, the essence of plural knowledge has been ignored in the current IKS modules. So, from methodological standpoint, this is dangerous. So, our methodology that cannot deal with internal contradiction and hierarchy turns risking it into unquestionable narrative. And once it is sterilized, it cannot grow. So that is the main problem that current IKS trajectory is facing right now. Next slide, please. So I have also inducted, what we can learn from other case studies, and while researching for this presentation, and otherwise also the case of China and some African countries are very apt in, pointing out like what can be done while this kind of push happens in a country. So let me briefly turn to China as a contrast. China has invested massively in research. Like 2023 data suggests that it was 2.65% of the GDP. As much as that is explicitly tied to Chinese strategic needs. So what is important here is, there has been push towards China-centric research, And there is a fallout of that kind of turn also. I will discuss, after, concluding the China's case study. So, but as far as we can see, there were number of initiatives in humanities and social sectors also, social sciences also. And like, for example, there was a clear policy push for philosophy and social sciences with Chinese characteristics and development of or building of an autonomous knowledge system in the Chinese setup. So institutionally, if you can see the entire funding and entire initiatives, China has created a strong Chinese language research ecosystem. So that means some of the initiatives are mentioned here also. So scholars are rewarded for publishing in Chinese using Chinese data set and history to build concepts and models. So the methodological lesson is not that India should copy the Chinese model itself, because it is top down, and second, it is state centric itself. But aligning funding, language, journals, evaluation around the localized agendas or homegrown agendas can shift what counts as legitimate research in the Indian setup as well. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So next, what we are going to do is we are going to, with African transformation through the plural decolonization. Next slide, please. Yes. So in Africa as a continent, I'm going to talk about the specific countries as a case study. We see a different, more plural set of experiments, like in contrast to China itself, aiming at decolonizing knowledge. So decolonization of knowledge, there has been push in the Indian setup also, and I would say the ICAS is also part of that broader push, that decolonizing knowledge and methodology and curriculum under that part. But what we can say is African context, and more prominently in South Africa and some other countries, there has been a prominent push to decolonize knowledge, curriculum, research, etc. And students' movement like Rhodes Must Fall and other, they opened up deep debates on the Eurocentric curricula. And there is now a serious work on integrating indigenous knowledge system into science, law, education, not as culture, but as knowledge itself. So it is not seen as an achievement of past, but there has been serious push in integrating it into the modern setups. So in other countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, Namibia, we see IKS oriented programs, local case based teaching, and revised and reading the already existing canons. So there is a strong push for African language and oral traditions, like for example, as a theory bearing. So it is just not a heritage, but it goes beyond that theory building model. Yes. And the shared lesson for us is that from the Chinese and African setup is that decolonization is not about a separate IKS corner. It is about embedding indigenous and local knowledges into mainstream disciplines and letting them shape how we think about evidence, theory, and method. And that is the need of the hour. Basically, we need to learn from these experiences how the change or integration of research methodology has to be there in the Indian setup also. So next, please. So, learning from these experience, what IKS or, what should be the Indian methodology in this case, like learning from Chinese and African experience, how how might we bring this back to Indian and to IKS as methodology? So, I jotted few points, and I would be open to any kind of suggestion or points of discussion after my presentation is over. So first, we need to move from indigenization as content to indigenization as method. So what it means that, we should not shy away from stopping at telling students what past hold and claims. As I clarified in the beginning of the presentation itself, that it would not be a clearly critique of the past, of India's past or civilization heritage, but at the same time we should ask which these claims can we test, adapt, and extend today. So since I know that this audience, the gathering is quite diverse, so I won't go into specific details of like what kind of indigenization as a method is to be used in different disciplines. But I would leave this presentation as an open discussion, like what we can do in a generalized manner. So what we can do is, we treat IKS as living, uh, evolving set of knowledge practices, not as a frozen canon. So not as a frozen canon that would require designing, certain labs, field sites, studios, and archives where IKS is derived hypothesis. They are systematically tried out. That scientific rigor shall be there. We should be binding history and scientific rigor in order to deal with the current research problems or current issues in the contemporary Indian society. So crucially, we must normalize disagreement, revision, and falsification within IKS. A methodological mature IKS will allow some traditional claims to be confirmed, some to be modified, and some to be rejected. So without that, this will be seen as a betrayal of tradition. This is how heritage becomes a science and rather a slogan itself. So, the next slide, it talks about like what exactly shall be done within, like how IKS shall be integrated as a research methodology itself. So, from methodological standpoint, three principles are quite central as they are visible in the slide itself. So, first is contextual. So, what is contextual? Basically, context matters. So, whenever we talk about the epistemology or history of epistemology, so it is always aligned or linked with power. So, whosoever were power in history, they had a full control in delineating the research agendas, the problems, etc. So that was centered around those methodology and those curriculums. They were centered around resolving their problems itself. So if we acknowledge that context is important, so IKS research, based research, it must be rooted in specific ecologies, language, and history in Indian setup. For example, so method should emerge from the government, from the ground realities uh, based on the Indian setup. And second, it has to be critical. Like critical means every claim, traditional or modern, must be open to evidence. So evidence means, there should be debates, discussion, dissent, and evolution. So that is how the IKS as a methodology can be improved. Critical reasoning is, the very understanding of critical reasoning. It is not a Western import, but it has a deep root in Indian traditions as well. And that is how the critical reasoning or evidence-based research shall be integrated in IKS as well. And third point I would like to elaborate is that the IKS as a methodology is collaborative. Collaborative means community, practitioners, scholars must be as co-researchers and not just data sources. Methodology should be designed with all the stakeholders, not merely about them. So that is how these principles can scale across disciplines, like any discipline. If these certain points, if we take care of certain points, then only we can fully and we can truly integrate this IKS methodology in the respective discipline itself. So the last slide, please. We are coming to the conclusion, and I would like to have your viewpoint or discussions or questions from your side also. So what is IKS? And like IKS is at crossroads. And let me close it by underlining what is at stake. A reductionist IKS without critique and without strong methods can easily become dogmatic. Identity driven and anti-questioning itself. In that version, the role of a university is simply to affirm a civilizational story. And if that happens, I guess, pedagogy risks becoming an echo chamber of nostalgia. And in other words, without a serious methodological turn, IKS is in danger of becoming symbolically central but intellectually redundant in research and policy. And hence, we will lose on that opportunity that we have already started in various disciplines. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. So, the alternative is to treat methodology as a real reform itself. I guess methodology, if we take it seriously, should help us pose new questions rooted in Indian reality, and it should enable us to generate testable, revisable, theory-rich framework, or what I said in the beginning, that scientific rigor has to be there, that draws on Indian text and practices, but also, it shall also integrate at the same time on data experiments and comparative work itself. So, so that IKS can become an engine of inquiry for India's future and growth, truly. So, and, we should be focusing on interdisciplinary practice-based research within communities. So then university and policymakers are in conversation itself. And if we are moving in that direction, IKS ceases to be a museum of the past, as I pointed out in the beginning itself, and it becomes, a truly a balance between tradition and transformation itself. And that is all from my side. I hope that I've given you enough points of discussion and research in your respective fields. Thank you, Kanksha ma'am, and I would like to take questions if there are any from the participants.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think we are open for discussion.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for the session. I'm sure this IKA system has been incorporated or discussed with various scholars and researchers. So, how do you think why they have incorporated such a system which actually asks you not to think and question, wherein research is actually about all about that only?
Thank you, Isha ma'am, for the question. So, what was the point of discussion here was, I gone through the major policy documents and curriculum of many universities. So, what I just spoke or discussed in the discussion, that this is, we should not be dismissing IKS as a research methodology, but just a point of discussion, or maybe certain, what you can say, what are the drawbacks that are already existing in this methodological turn. So NEP came in 2020, and after that there has been major push in integrating IKS in research and curriculum itself. So my thinking is based on my research, so that indicates that, as I said in the beginning itself, that not all, but majority of it, the direction suggests that IKS is turning towards this, a relic of past, and there is not a major shift or major focus on how do we link the past to the present itself. So that is from my side.
Ma'am, I think we have one question in the chat box.
Okay.
I'll just repeat it for you. Which Indian is the Indian in Indian knowledge system is what I wonder. If you could just throw some light on that.
What is the question? Can you please repeat?
It's a bit confusing for me as well. Which Indian is the Indian in Indian knowledge system is
That
what
is just a sarcasm, ma'am, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I got it totally. The sarcasm, I got it. And that is what I discussed in between also during presentation. Like what is Indian itself is a quite point of contemplation itself. India is quite diverse and diverse in terms of everything. Like there is a linguistic, there is regional, there is ethnic diversity. So which Indian is Indian, that should also be incorporated as a part of methodological rigor in IKS. So thank you for the question. And yes, this is definitely a needed focus that should be integrated in IKS as we move forward in the same direction.
Thank you, ma'am, for the response. Manashi has something to add to whatever you said. So she actually thinks that IK should be integrated from the primary education in the manner in which you have already mentioned, and therefore it can be beneficial with proper research.
But if it dismisses debates or research questions and it makes your mind to a yes man kind of a person, I think it dismisses the point of research because already we are lacking behind a lot in the way the West pursues research and the way specifically India researches it down.
Yes, Isha ma'am, you are right in pointing out that and that was a whole point of discussion here, that IKS should not become some kind of redundant methodology or that can be seen as a conservative or historical approach, but it should definitely integrate the scientific rigor and critical reasoning in it, so that we can have our knowledge based in indigenous system, but at the same time it should be open enough to get itself integrated in the global knowledge itself. You are right in pointing out. Thank you. And
Ankit
yes,
has a question. I think Ankit, you can unmute yourself and maybe ask.
Okay, ma'am. So I have from Sadharanikaran model of communication, which has been prepared by a Nepali scholar, Adhikari. I have tried to take that model and create a model for myself, uh, myself for communication model for myself for mapping the 6 phases of filmmaking. So I have created this model, and this model is how can I get this model validated if I have created this model, ma'am? I just wanted to know. So this is for my PhD.
okay. So thank you, Ankit, and I think that is indeed a great contribution. And I was talking about the diverse problems, and a country as diverse as India needs diverse approaches. And your model, I think you should get it, apply it to copyright or patent, maybe, so that it can have some kind of validation from the regulators itself. So that is a real essence of integrating IKS into the methodologies. Like there are various models, there are various critical questions that are based that are actually resolving the problems of diverse setup as India's. So maybe you can get it done or get it validated from the regulatory bodies itself. I think that is a great contribution of yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Vaibhavi, ma'am, I think has a question she has raised.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon. Thank you, Ekta madam, for the session. And I think the earlier session with hands-on experience was also wonderful. I just had one question. I chair the B.Ed program at the university, at Navrashna University. And in the second year, since IK has become a system, I think that should be oriented to the teachers also now, because they might have to take that up in the classrooms. As somebody had raised a query here, that it should be there from the right from the smaller ages in the classroom. We are trying to implement it for the first time as a pilot into the teacher education program. I really wanted to understand, because we would be taking it for the first time. I wanted to understand if there is any outline or any clarity with which we can take it up into the teacher education program, probably some parameters or some pillars that we can use to, frame a syllabus for IKS into the teacher education program, because so that it is more authentic and, valid for these student teachers, was my question.
Okay, that is indeed a very deep question, and it does require a larger kind of approach, maybe. So, at this level, I am also a researcher of maybe different epistemological approaches or in pedagogy. So, I would say that there are already India and Indian guidelines are basically they are moving towards pushing the vernacular learning itself. And vernacular, I mean, there are different setup like that may be experiential and linguistic, like that the diversity or the three language formula that many states have also come up with these kind of pedagogies also. So I'm really sorry, but I'm not at a position to suggest like what kind of things should be integrated in the school level curriculum, because I'm already based in higher education, and I'm sure the primary level needs more caution and care. So the guidelines are already there. So maybe some researchers and some experts who are already working in integrating at the early education, they can be better equipped with what kind of exact modules could be curated.
Sure. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. We are really grateful for to have spared some time and engage with our participants in such a meaningful discussion, and actually bring in IKS, which even I could not imagine we actually thought of as a good research methodology. Thank you so much for such an engaging session. I think we'll now start with the validity session. Our convener is here. Also, our head of institution, Julie Vardhan ma'am, is here. So I welcome her. Ma'am, I think you can extend your word of thanks to our speakers, participants, and everyone out there who has anyways helped in making this workshop successful. Over to you, Julie ma'am.
Thank you, Akansha ma'am. On behalf of Amity School of Management and Commerce, Amity University, Jharkhand, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to all those who have contributed to the successful conduct of the 3-day workshop on qualitative research. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our Honorable VC Sir for his continuous encouragement and visionary support towards academic and research-oriented initiatives in the university. We're extremely thankful to Dean Sir for his support, encouragement, and valuable guidance in organizing this workshop successfully. We express our sincere gratitude to all the esteemed resource personnel who have given their valuable insights, practical knowledge, and perspectives on the qualitative research methodologies. Your sessions have certainly enhanced our understanding and inspired us to explore research with greater depth and rigor. I also extend my sincere thanks to the respected dignitaries, faculty members, researchers, and most importantly, the participants, the enthusiastic participants, for their presence and active engagement throughout the workshop. A special note of appreciation to the organizing team, whose efforts and coordination ensured the smooth conduct of the program. We are grateful also to the university administration, the IT team, for their continuous support in organizing such academic initiatives. Thank you once again to everyone for making this workshop meaningful and successful. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am, for your word of thanks. So with this, I think we can finally formally conclude the session. I also thank all the resource persons and participants. Thank you. Your participation and engagement in the workshop means a lot to us. And we'll be connecting with you soon with such more events So yes, please be in touch. And regarding e-certificates and recordings of the session, we'll be posting it all on the WhatsApp group that has been meant for the participants. So please be in touch. E-certificates will be dispatched as early as possible. Give us a week's time and we'll do it. And the YouTube links will be posted. Also, recording sessions will be done in a day or two. So give us some time, and thank you all for engaging. I hope it has been a very good learning experience and a great journey for all of us together. So yes, thank you so much, and we can call it off now. Thank you.
And can we have a group
Thank you.
photo over here?
Oh yes, please. I think Animesh sir will do the needful for us. So I would request all the participants and key persons and our HOI ma'am to keep their cameras open so we can have a group picture together.
Ma'am, you are on mute. Akansha ma'am, please unmute yourself.
So yeah, the picture is done, and thank you once again, all of you. We'll see you soon in some more events together. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.